Could not possibly think it would be so easy, chat. So, I suppose I should just get it out of the way. Yes, I'm very aware that England is apparently, by happenstance, pure luck. I'm actually going to give it to Ireland. Ireland started it, okay? Ireland started it. They were the one that burned down the migrant centers and all the hotels and threatened the workmen. England just kind of thought, oh, well, since the Irish are up to something, I guess we ought to get into it too. We don't want to look far behind the times, do we, dear? So, like, okay, fine. We'll take a little bit off the Irish, as we do, and riot as well. So there is a race war brewing, but before I get into that, I want to toot my own horn here a bit. I'm testing something, and if I need chat's help. I know this is really hard, but could chat desperately say the dumbest fucking things they can come up with, just real quick, just out, off the top of your head? Probably is going to sound really smart to you, but can my chat please just say some fucking retard shit real quick? Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Oh, we got Dead saying race war. Melanin Farmer says Ethan Ralph is a Kang. Akan says the UK is a nice place. Now that's funny, chat. That's fun. Josh is smart. Oh, we got a comedian. I see how it is. DSP and PPP went on. Now that's a winning combination. Trans Right says Tingo Frendingo. Oh, interesting. We got like a long one. How about this? Kolya Dante says, I think Liz Fong Jones makes some good points. Judah Chu says, moo. I'll just do this. Leon Lee Pejon says, Pimpy, son up. Over the weekend, I did get the smashed and slammed exotic bully Gumroad thing out. I've been planning to do that for fucking forever. And then I thought, you know what? All these people doing like... I've been watching Bossman on Twitch, and he would... Oh, and Sean has this overlay that he does where he can just click a thing. And show it on screen. And I was like, dude, that's a really nice feature. So this, I whipped this out in an hour, and I thought, oh, great. Okay, I can just click things now, and it just shows up. Now, that's awesome. So now for this, and I'll do it for the super chats too. I'll click them and show them on screen. So now people can actually figure out what the fuck I'm saying, because apparently I read super chats so fast. Yeah, even at 1x, nobody knows what the fuck I'm saying ever. So, I will, that's how I'm going to do things. I'm going to make it look nicer. I'm going to eventually, mark my words, I'm going to have the Stream Nexus, aka the Stream Nexus for advanced, or for, wait, what's the name of it? Hold up. I have a name for this. It's really long. It's very funny, too. It's a very funny name. The Stream Nexus for Enhanced Entertainment and Discourse, aka Sneed. One day I'll have Sneed up to snuff. And we'll be checking and fucking and sucking, and having all sorts of people will use my Stream Nexus for their multicasting purposes. Look, I think even this works. Look at that. Bam! Big dancing rat. You can't say no. Cool. Things are getting more interactive, chat. I'm just really pushing the boundaries of science and technology these days. Anyways, the Anglish. Oh, geez. So I started, I guess, ostensibly with this. So this nice young man is Welsh, as you can tell. I know the Welsh look a little bit funky, but he is from Cardiff, which I believe is the capital of Wales. The junior partner of England and Wales, as it might be known. And he just decided, out of the blue, he was a nice young lad, had his whole life ahead of him. Really was quiet, kept to himself. Perfectly integrated, second-generation immigrant, taken from Rwanda. His parents were from Rwanda, one of the most desolate shitholes of the entire world at the time that they moved to the United Kingdom. And he was born there. So his parents were super screened. Sure, you're coming from a shithole. You're coming here for new life, new prospects. And then he was born in Cardiff, in Wales, which I just assume is a beautiful place, because any place with mountains is beautiful. Even if it's in England, even if it's a bit gloomy. And then despite all that opportunity, he grew up and at 17 said, you know what, today is the day. I'm going to take a knife without even a license, and I'm going to fucking murder 3 little white girls because I just fucking hate white people. And that's been my argument against immigration for a very long time. I think I brought this point up in 2016. And I'm sorry, this is going to be a little bit more political just because of the necessity of things. So we're going to need a hamster to guide us, I think. My argument that I made, even I think back during the Trump election, was that there is, in the second generation immigrants, a higher than average, higher than like even compared to first generation immigrants, second generation immigrants are more dangerous across the board. They commit more crime, they accomplish less, they're more likely to be terrorists, they're more likely to be radicalized, they're more likely to carry out operations in support of a regime or a cell outside of the country. And it's like, if we accept immigrants from these countries and we screen them, let's say that we had a magic machine that you could walk immigrants through and detect with 100% accuracy that they were going to be upstanding citizens. There is no way to detect if their children are going to be upstanding citizens, and more often than not, they're not. There's no way to adequately determine if people are going to integrate or not. It's just not possible. So there's no reason to tolerate it. You got to go the fuck back home. So he kicked off the riots and stuff. I haven't looked too much into it. I don't know the extent of it. Apparently, it's quite a big deal. Whitey is rising the fuck up. Apparently, I've heard reports from the English that black people are just staying at home right now because they're like afraid of being attacked, which I don't know if that's true, but that's what someone said. And this guy desperately wanted me to play this video. The guy on the right is Stefan Nolan, and he's interviewing a local resident of Belfast in Northern Ireland. This is where Keffels lives, by the way, I'm pretty sure. And the guy asked this shop owner what he thinks about immigrants, and he just says, fuck them. So I'll play like a minute of this.
So, I'm looking at a burnt-out business. Yes. Are you not discussing this?
No. So his accent's really hard to understand, but he's saying, I'm looking at an apartheid business. Like, he's saying, I won't shop at Muslim stores. I don't want to deal with Muslims. I don't welcome Muslims into my business. And Stefan's saying, isn't that apartheid? Isn't that just dreadful? And he's like, I don't give a fuck.
Why should I? It's not my business. Why should I do this?
Because there's a man over there devastated. His livelihood is devastated.
So's ours.
What do you mean ours? He is in this community.
I know, he shouldn't be in the community.
All right, you know him, do you?
I don't know him.
All right, you don't know him. So it's just about the colour of his skin, is it?
And the blue of his skin. Where's the money coming to keep these people up?
Isn't that a crime? Well, that's the interesting thing, is that now you got so many angloids posting on the internet. You got so many angloids just like refusing to cooperate, refusing to and it only takes a small percentage. Like, I heard the number was like, if 1% of voluntary taxpayers stop paying taxes in the U.S., it would collapse the IRS. They simply wouldn't be able to handle that. It takes like 1% of people to stop playing the games for all the laws to just suddenly stop mattering. And the government seems really set to rein people back in and keep that number, that needle hovering below 1%.
You tell me.
He is making money for his own business. That's where his money's coming from. He's getting up in the morning and he's working.
Working what? As far as I'm concerned, there's too many foreigners here, as far as I'm concerned. This was a lovely place once. Now it's stinking.
Aye, because there was never any violence around this area. Sure, there wasn't
I
in
can say
Shaftesbury
it.
Square.
Sure.
This was just a beautiful place, the Donegal Road, with no violence, with no intimidation,
Yes.
with paramilitaries not driving people out of the area and kneecapping them. This place was just wonderful, wasn't it?
Oh, so
Come on.
what you're
Come
saying?
on.
Aye, because the police, 50 landowners here in Saturday night. What for? 50 landowners. Did you get that before? No. Two-tier policemen again, usual.
If you've ever had a conversation with an Irish person, they speak. It's so weird. Like Irish people speak English, and to the Scottish are the same thing, but they speak English. And sometimes if you're in a conversation with one and they get too comfortable, they go like full Irish. And after they say something, you just have to look at them and say, "Sorry, you're gonna have to repeat that." I don't know what the fuck you just said to me. It's honestly, it's really difficult to listen and be like, no, there's no subtitles. God help you, there'll be no subtitles for this. Anyways, the gist of this is that it's a 12-minute conversation between a BBC North Ireland radio presenter and a local resident. And the resident is simply saying, I don't want the area was better before immigrants came. I don't want anything to do with them. I think they should go back. I don't want to support their businesses. I don't care if they're hurting. I don't give a fuck. And the guy's just like trying to guilt trip him. They're like, well, you mean to tell me there's no violence before the immigrants came? And he's like, no, there wasn't. Yeah, it was better. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. And from a boomer, that's like a line crossed. In the U.S., people are afraid to say things like that. Nobody wants to look racist for whatever reason. We never understood that. Like, when did understanding differences between people become a original sin that you can just never do, greater than any other sin? I don't know. I don't want to dwell on the angloid thing for too long. I'm sure there's going to be lots to talk about. Apparently, this was the big news that kind of prompted me to like feature it. And the thread is a clusterfuck. Like people are literally just posting like how to make IEDs in the thread. Like British people are just like maybe somebody should make a bomb. I'm like, well, I can't really permit that. It's a bit much. So I'm having to like warn people. I even warned a guy. So like, dude, you posted about making a bomb like 40 fucking times in this thread. If you do it again, I'm gonna have to ban you. And he just replied saying, I'm gonna do it again because I fuck the immigrants. And I'm like, okay, well then I have to ban you like now because you just told me this. So it's a bit of a strain. And then there were people coming in from the U.S. and they're like, well, nothing ever happens and the English won't do anything because they're complacent. They don't have guns. So it's been kind of a mess to moderate it, but I'm trying my best here. I'm sorry, it's the law in the U.S. It's really dangerous because if someone who has a forum account makes a bomb and does something illegal and they have a forum post where they're saying that they are going to make a bomb, it's like, well, that looks bad on me. So, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I I can't really facilitate that. I have enough shit going on at the moment. Not that I have anything against people sharing information that's published by the U.S. Army, but none of my back porch, as they say. GameStop. Now that's a segue. GameStop has shut down Game Informer. So despite the Reddit boon, Game Informer is dead. By the way, I love this advertisement for Apex Legends. It's like, okay, we need this game chock full of like black twinks and ugly mutts in order to get our DEI points from BlackRock. But how do we sell the game? And they said, put the white chick front and center, largest character on the poster. Yeah, put the white woman on the front. That's how you sell the game. And then you can sell the characters to BlackRock on the back end. Game Informer was the long-running video game publication that GameStop managed. I think it became internet only at some point. They were running for 30-plus years at this point. 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-involving world of gaming. It is with a heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. And what's really tragic about this is that they had like a forum or something. They had all these articles they had written over 33 years and a lot of stuff that was available on the internet. I think they even had like a message board, and they shut it all down. And now it's just this. It's just this page, no matter what. So now it's just gone. You have this 33-year-old relic, that was on the internet, early on the internet, and it's just gone. And everything on it, poof, bye-bye. All gone. Someone pressed the button. So that's the, I don't know, I don't have like a, I don't know, Game Informer was around when I was a kid, and it had like a name. I don't have a heavy heart for it because I'm not like a gamer, but I'm more sad about the content on the internet. Like, you have this huge thing and they just like tear it down one day without any without any regard for their own product. They just shut it down and they say like, well, maybe we should release the rights to the articles or allow Creative Commons distribution or create archives for it, submit it to the Internet Archive. They're like, nah, just throw up a redirect to the closure page. Whatever. Who gives a shit? That's a little bit sad, I think. You have so much, how many hundreds of man hours went into maintaining this, You have all these full-time employees that have been around for 3 decades, whose work culminated into this website, and then you just press the button and poof, bye-bye. And it's gone. All that time spent building this thing up is just gone. Kind of sad, if you think about it. Though I can understand why it closed. Anytime I look at Steam and I look at like the most recent games, I'm just thinking, wow, all these suck. None of these look fucking good. They're still like, I don't even know what it is. It feels like there's fewer game releases than ever before now. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm old, but when I look at like the game releases on Steam, I'm just thinking like, wow, does nobody publish fucking games anymore? And the games that do come out are like cape shit. They're making more hero shooters and battle royale games still. Like the new one that's coming out is a Marvel's Overwatch. I can't remember what it's called. It might be called Fate or something. But it's literally just Overwatch with Marvel characters. And I was looking at it, and I was looking at the gameplay footage, and I'm just thinking, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I can't see. Like, I watched one video where Spider-Man is like tying up a bunch of people, and I'm just thinking like, I don't know who the fuck the bad guys are in this video. I don't know who's killing what. I thought maybe there was a tank in there, but like, oh no, that's just like 4 bad guys, and the only reason why you can tell is that they have like red names. And it's like Valve figured this shit out like 15 fucking years ago. How to do silhouettes, how to do color schemes, how to make it obvious who's the bad guy and who's on your team. And then Overwatch comes along and shits out Overwatch, or Blizzard comes around and shits out Overwatch. And then it's just like, it's a visual clusterfuck where you have hero shooters and then you don't have ways to determine if the diva that you're shooting at is on your team or the enemy team, because she's in a giant pink mech. Well, is that a friend or a foe? What color is pink? And it's like the simplest things. Like, you can't make it so that the character designs change color. You can't make it so that when Diva's on your side, her thing is blue, or leave it pink, but when it's on the enemy team, it's like a bright red. Like, the simplest things to make the game more usable are just lost. No, we got to keep Spider-Man's distinct red costume, even when he's your character or on your team. We can't make him blue. That's not trademarked. It's just awful. So I don't know. The games market is so bad. I'm genuinely considering playing fucking RuneScape again. I was thinking like, damn, I could go for some temple trekking. I could go for a little bit of farming right now. I haven't done magic tree runs in a long time. I could do that without too much attention. That's how fucking bad it is. That's how dire we are. Level up fishing, bro. I'm getting there. Yeah, I don't know. That's my video game rant. Anytime I look at video games, I just get sad. This is a short-lived thing, I'm sure. Louisiana has become the first state to legalize surgical castration for child rapists. I guarantee you, I bet fucking money, that this will never, ever be put into practice. because if it ever happens, it'll go to the Supreme Court and they will find that it is cruel and inhuman punishment or whatever. So the judge will be able to decide to remove their testicles, and honestly, it's funny on paper. Like, yeah, we should. The issue is that even here's my hot take: the Supreme Court many years ago, I think like 50 years ago, struck out. And it was a horrific case. It was like, I want to say it was a black man that raped a little white girl, and he raped her so badly she was like physically disabled afterwards. So it was like the most horrific, brutal child rape possible. And he was rightfully sentenced to death. And it went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court held that a capital offense can only be for capital murder and not for rape, even of a child, even if it's like physically debilitating. It was probably the worst Supreme Court decision ever. I will hold that it's worse than the Supreme Court decision that ruled that black people are property and therefore they cannot file lawsuits. And as a result, we can no longer kill pedophiles. So they passed this law to try to get around this and castrate them. But in the books, 50% of pedophiles reoffend, and 13% of castrated pedophiles reoffend. So even in situations where we monitored castrated pedophiles, a not insignificant portion of them compared to the baseline still reoffend. So even if you do completely like take off their cock and balls, you cannot. The only way to disable the pedophiles' urge to rape children is to destroy the brain. Much like a zombie, you have to actually use a ballistic projectile to blender the central nervous system with a wobbling 5.56 millimeter. That is literally the only way to correctly do this. So anything short of overturning that horrific Supreme Court decision that we're burdened with is insufficient. But yeah, they will overturn this before it happens. Speaking of, the Florida State Police Service has closed down a literal child pornography website that Cloudflare still hosts. So Cloudflare knew that they had a child pornography website, and they acted so slowly that the police of Florida were able to seize it first before Cloudflare denied them service. So Cloudflare, when a couple trannies are upset, you can actually go. You can go to lolcow.wiki and you can still see the error page. Due to an imminent threat, an imminent and emergency threat to human life, the content of this site is blocked from being accessed through Cloudflare's infrastructure. For more details, please see cloudflare.com/kiwifarms blocked. Child pornography. Tranny's mad. Imminent, urgent, emergency threat. Keffels might be annoyed. Oh no. Thanks, Matthew Prince. Very cool. Okay. There is a slight blend of the troon into the news into the troon, rather. First of all, I would like to say I was right. Very important message. I was right. The Boxing Association has confirmed that the two suspicious boxers, Amin Khalif from Algeria and Lin Yuting from Taiwan, are not women. They are not intersex. They do not classify as women. They are men with cock and balls. So everyone in my chat last stream saying, but Josh, they are actually cis females. They're just ugly. Sorry, you're wrong. All those people, why do you doubt me? I don't understand it. It's just not fair. I should earn the benefit of a doubt by now, chat. Just wanted to point that out. Okay. Hamster dismissed. Might be going a little bit too fast here. Maybe we should talk about England some more. This is a guy who I am aware of, He's one of those people that I have a vague familiarity with, and that's just as a byproduct of running the forum. However, I don't have a deep understanding of him or his history, but I will try my best to explain this. A long time ago, in a galaxy far away, there was a young internet, and DeviantArt arose on this young internet as a place for artists to post their art, and also their very, very terrible fan fiction. I think even fanfiction.net was a thing before DeviantArt, but DeviantArt came along after and kind of stole its thunder. Regardless, the furries realized, hey, wait a second, this website isn't single purpose towards furries. We need our own thing. So, lo and behold, a brave soldier of furrydom named Dragoneer started. Now, I could be wrong. Could be somebody else and he just took over, but I'm pretty sure it's Dragoneer. Dragoneer started, I think, a website called... It's not Fur Affinity. It's FA, but it's not Deviant. Oh, it is Fur Affinity. DeviantArt. Okay, sorry, my brain flatlined. Started Fur Affinity, which is just DeviantArt for furries. And I think part of that probably has to do with porn, because it's very pornographic, I think. So this kind of became like the central furry art repository. And I want to say that there is a kind of a rivalry between Dragoneer and another guy that runs a bunch of other furry shit. And he's kind of trying to start up his competition to Fur Affinity because Fur Affinity sucks. And it hasn't been improved for a very long time. And this has kind of opened the doors for someone else to try and compete with it. Who is the guy that runs the other furry sites? The guy that sticks massive dragon dildos up his ass. The horsecock guy. Oh, that's killing me. Zolcano started it, I guess. But Dragoneer runs it. No, it's not Mr. Hands. Not Vouch. Yeah, the E621 guy. Varka, that's it. This guy with the furry avatar, he happens to know who Varka is. Surprise. No, not Vouch. Vouch does not run a bunch of furry sites. It's Varka. He like, I think he owns Bad Dragon. And he advertises Bad Dragon by sticking tank shell sized horse cocks up his ass and posting the video of it. And he also runs a bunch of furry stuff. And I think he wants to start his own version of Fur Affinity. The whole point of that diatribe is that Fur Affinity is on the downslope. And at one point, Dragoneer sold Fur Affinity to MView, which I'm pretty sure MView was the name of that social media network that was like the most horrific Bratz doll looking avatars ever. I've never used MView, but I am aware of it. And MView quickly realized they had bought a turd, and Dragoneer quickly realized that without Fur Affinity, his life had no meaning, so he bought it back at a loss. He took out loans to buy his own site back at a loss, even though it had lost value. So that that's how good this guy is with business. Now, from what I understand, Dragoneer is like 500 fucking pounds. I don't know if it's a meme, but people say that he's like death fat, mortar-bound, stuck in bed. I can believe that, but he complains about his health constantly. Now, you would think the guy who runs one of the largest furry social media sites in existence, and even if it's not that big, furries, for whatever reason, are some of the spendiest people on the planet. There is nothing easier parted than a furry from his money. For whatever reason, they love to spend money. They love to spend money in the community. And generally speaking, if you run a big furry website, you should be making a fuck ton of money. Dragoneer has not managed to adequately monetize his site, and I've heard like a billion excuses for this. Like, it's hard to get advertisers. He sells premium, but he doesn't add any features to make it worthwhile, and so on and so forth. There's no fucking excuse. If you own like a legitimate website that has a huge user base and they're all furries, you should be cash out the ass rich, point blank. He's apparently having a bit of an issue, and his issue is that he's out of money. So here's some messages. He's like openly begging on Blue Sky. So here's what he's saying. He goes by Near, by the way, no relation. AC repair folks are here. It turns out it got so hot from this heat wave, one of the capacitors blew. Oh shit, it's $800. This includes a full cleaning, multiple replace parts, and a ton of coolant. My unit has a tiny micro link. Then he complains about his health. Oh my god, the pulmonologist got back to me. I'm not gonna die. I can't stop crying. Did they give you any kind of diagnosis? He says, not over the phone. Appointment is July 30th. I have some time, but I have a reason to fight now. I've lost like 90% of my strength. Breathing is incredibly hard. I've got like every symptom of pneumonia, and I don't want to have it. Bro, it's time for a poll. Okay. I can't wait for people to debate this in the comments and get really, really angry at me. And okay, chat. Question. Dragoneer versus Medicare in a fist fight. Vote 1 for Team Near. Vote 2 for Team 4-star. I want to see. I'll continue to read these. I expect your input on my chat messages. Specialist called to ask if I was going to need financial aid, as this could easily start out in a 5-figure range. And the snarky side of me wanted to respond, no aid for me. I have one of those giant crayons filled with loose change. I got this. Of course I said yes. So this is the other thing. He's like broke as fuck, and for whatever reason does not qualify for Medicaid. So he's begging to like pay all of his bills cash, and he doesn't have insurance because he can't afford private insurance. But for whatever reason, he's also somehow fucked himself over, so that he can't qualify for Medicaid. I'm actually surprised by how many people voted for Dragoneer. I want to know, Team Near, what is it about? Okay, so Medicare wins by 65% over 34%. Okay, someone says Medicare has a broken leg. That is a big disadvantage, but Near is too fat to walk. He can roll on top of Jim. There are some people who are skeptical. Jim is unable to walk, but Dragoneer is 500 pounds, so Jim's bones are made of glass right now, but he has a wheelchair. He can just maybe he can roll over because Dragoneer's too fat maybe to sit up. He can just roll over his neck and win by default. Crush Jim. Perfect could Sonic roll over Jim's broken corpse. That's mean, bro. Okay. Enough of this before I get in trouble, before everyone starts yelling at me again. Posting a copy of my initial diagnosis when they thought it was just pneumonia. I wanted to provide some transparency, so many people put their trust and kindness in there. I guess this is him going in for an x-ray. For some reason, his receipt is literally printed on receipt paper. Interesting. Weight, 400 pounds. Okay, so that does conform it. He is 400 pounds. He has a BMI of 55. That is crazy. Not looking good, Jim Bros. See, the greatest thing I've learned in my life is to let things go. No matter the regrets, the I wish I had, and the painful memories of the past, I cannot change what has been, only what will be. To dwell on the past is to let grief consume you. All you can do is be the version you, I assume he means want to be, moving forward. He says, I'm viewing this as a future me problem, and I just need to get through it first. I'll be launching a GoFundMe because, well, I can't work. Treatment is estimated to take 2 to 3 months. I have a fever of 102 right now, I can only focus on one thing at a time. By the way, I just remembered. This was actually important, the 400 thing, because I think he posted receipts before, and he was over 500. So he lost, his sickness is so severe that he's lost 100 pounds of fat just by, I guess, fighting off disease or something. He's saying that his lungs look fucked. He has a $5,000 medical bill. You have a $25,000 estimate. And that's unrelated. I just want to kind of, I don't know, maybe this will become something more interesting over time. Because does this guy have a living will for fur affinity? Who does he give it to? I'm struggling. It's like you can't afford your medical bills, but we have Medicaid in the U.S. How do you not qualify for that? If it's like if fur affinity is his asset that disqualifies him from having Medicaid, like why would you not structure your assets in such a way that like you don't own them? Like put fur affinity into a trust, have you be the beneficiary or executor of the trust, and then don't own it. Like do anything besides just sit there complacent waiting to die because you can't afford medical bills. Like I think there is possible to figure this out at this point. Maybe just enjoy his e-begging. Okay, this is a guy called Smash JT, and he actually threw us a good word, so I think I would play this for right now. Because he reads my article. So what happened is that Alyssa Mercant, who I talked about on stream because she's super gross. Can someone remind me what Alyssa Mercant did real quick? But while I wait for an answer, she got involved in the Smashcast, and which is like a big like nerd area. She's a games journalist. What is she? Was she the one that went after the guy in Brazil to try and get his site deplatformed? Yes. Okay. So she's the one that went after the Brazilian guy and the DEI detected. And I talked about her because she's super fucking gross. She went onto the Smashcast, I think is what it's called, and super chatted something about how she was going to donate to Trans Lifeline as like repentance. And so this guy did a deep dive into Trans Lifeline, and well, you know where that goes. So I'll play like a little bit of this.
Goes deep. From Kiwi Farms investigations to embezzlements of misappropriated funds, it ended up being one of the biggest icebergs of hidden criminal activity.
Wait, I'll skip ahead. Okay.
Now I want to talk a little bit about Kiwi Farms. And I know right away you say Kiwi Farms and people are like, oh, nope, turn it off. I can't. Nope, Kiwi Farms, bad. They're bad people. They're awful. Bigoted, horrible. It's harassers. Here's the thing. That might actually be true for certain individuals on certain websites. But what I found out about the Kiwi Farms investigation about this corporation really exposed what's going on when it comes to institutionalized censorship. Kiwi Farms described in detail the tactics that were used with the Drop Kiwi Farms hashtag, experienced from the inside. Say what you want about Kiwi Farms, but when a corporate agenda is actively trying to hide behind being anti-trans as a way to silence, remove, and ultimately...
I love that. That's such just the way he scrolls down, it's just like, boo, boo, scared you.
Shut down your website. I have some serious issues with that. Coming from someone who had people trying to shut down their website, I don't like that. I feel like if people have a platform, they should be able to use it to say what they want to say, and the audience can take what they want out of it and either trust the person or not. But they don't need a third party coming in saying, oh, we don't want you. We're going to remove your website and remove the ability to have people decide what they want based off of what you're saying. According to the Kiwi Farms investigation, Trans Lifeline was operated by Greta and Nina. The organizers would post extravagant lifestyle photos on their public Instagrams. Meanwhile, the Trans Lifeline hotline service rarely had anyone online to accept emergency calls.
A lot of this is just line by line reading of that article, which is interesting. We have all that information still. Like we I had at one point developed a scraper bot because they used a website that was it was kind of like a plug and play website. You just set it up and point it at something, and then that software keeps track of when you have a hotline operator, and so it would show when you had an operator available and when you didn't, and it would also show you the schedule of when people who were volunteers agree to like take specific time slots. So people would slot themselves in and say, I'll be available these hours, which is like any time that they could be available. And as a result, when you looked at this page and it says call Trans Lifeline, we're here to help, you'd see like a schedule. Now, normally this would just be like, we're available 9 to 5 every day on weekdays, because that's when like that's how the software is built for. It's built for those kinds of call lines. But because they were slotting in people whenever they volunteered, you would get bizarre things where you would have entire days with no operators. Like Tuesday would be unavailable. You would have a person available from like 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. And then on that same day from like 8 to 3. And then you would have this massive gap between like 3 and 9. It was just all over the fucking place. And oftentimes you would have nobody available to take the call at all, because I guess some people would just log on whenever they could and they wouldn't like schedule it. So I built a scraper that checked the website periodically, and I determined that it was like I want to say it was like 90% of the time. It was a really ridiculously high percentage of time that there were 0 operators available to take calls on like a emergency suicide prevention hotline. And to this day, I think if you check their website, they're only available certain hours. So they don't have call ops available all the time, even now, even after they've corrected cores and fixed things and stuff. So it's this huge clusterfuck. And Trans Lifeline is always like the go-to charity that people donate money to when they want a virtue signal that they care about trannies. But even to this day, and their policies are still the original policies. We never call police. You can call them and say, I have a gun to my fucking head. I'm at this address. I'm going to blow my brains out in 30 minutes. And you are not allowed to send an ambulance or any kind of wellness check or police to that address as the operator, because in their policies, the police and the involuntary commitments and stuff are always more dangerous to the tranny than just talking to them. So by their like, even if there's a crime in progress, like even if the tranny is committing like a violent offense, and the one thing that he talks about that I hadn't even heard about is that they have spent more than $500,000 on pro bono representation for tranny like criminals, because their policy is that every trans person in jail and in prison is at an elevated risk of danger, and they don't deserve that. So they try to get every single tranny out of prison regardless of what their offense is. Doesn't matter if it's violent or sexual or pedophilic. They will always assume that A, the conviction is wrong, and B, the tranny deserves to not be in prison because they're at elevated risk. That's how fucked up this is. And I'm very thankful that Smash GT shouted out my article in the forum for the work, and it's also very rewarding that even years later, like when the forum does something good, and it doesn't feel very rewarding at the time to have done it because people just lie, and they just say that we harass these, like Liz Fong Jones, like committed all these resources to trying and to cover up the fact that he participated in a charity, he supported a charity, and he got involved with the Kiwi Farms because of this charity that literally, under penalty of perjury, inured $340,000 of tax-free money to its operators. And it doesn't feel very rewarding to fuck with that kind of thing, because they just come after you and nobody gives a shit because you're the Kiwi Farms. But then 10 years later, you're still literally, like, we're getting close to 10 years on this. I'm still hearing about people finding out about Nina and Greta and the people involved and supporting a fraud. So it is gratifying, like, that the long payoff of sticking through and keeping things up and keeping things available is still returning dividends in bizarre, unexpected ways, where this horrible woman tries to virtue signal by donating to the charity, and then people can just search it, find my article, and be like, oh my god, this is like a terrible scam, or it was, and now it's just a terrible organization. So that's nice. That's gratifying, chat. That's nice. By the way, in the comments, there's this guy. I don't know his full like background, but apparently he's like a retard, and he commented on this and says, I'm mixed on Kiwi Farms. Yes, I did something incredibly stupid to get a thread there, and as such, sure, point and laugh at me. What I don't get is doxing me, or doxing me, my family, when I haven't even broken the law nor presented a threat of harm. That's where I believe they cross the line. Encourages harassment of showcased individuals. Sorry, bro. I don't know. Like, the thing I never understand about the doxing thing is, like, the anger is misplaced. Like, okay, sure, you don't want this to happen, but do you know why it happens? It's because the United States is the only civilized country in the entire fucking world that allows private corporations to sell your data all over the place, and there's no regulations whatsoever, and everyone can just search your name and find out where you live with zero effort. Like, but nobody, and when we try to pass legislation to curtail this and make data something that has to be respected in some way, it always gets shot down in Congress because advertisers run this shit. The private interest of like the copyright mafia and the advertising mafia, they run this shit. They own you. You're never gonna get privacy. You're never gonna have freedom of speech, so long as the big tech companies, as long as the big rights holder organizations, and as long as the big advertising firms have a monopoly on the Congress. Like, it's just not going to happen. If you want to change doxing, instead of going after people posting stuff, go after the corporations that sell your ass like a fucking commodity. Okay, so this I'm not qualified to speak too much about. I've watched this video. Coffeezilla, who actually is a bit of a rising star in terms of like people I am aware of that are in my brain. Coffeezilla was the guy that did, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's the guy that did the expose on Boogie's crypto scam, which kickstarted the whole Boogie stuff that I didn't pay too much attention to because a lot of it seemed like capitalizing on drama for Keemstar's profit. But I think that he did a very genuine interest piece into like Boogie is doing what a lot of celebrity creators have done, and that they've taken their name and put it on a crypto product for cheap cash, not realizing that they're getting paid that because their own viewership is going to be investing their personal money more than what they're being paid to inflate this crypto so that a different company can rug pull it and take that money and walk away. I.e., they are accepting money to promote a scam, which is ostensibly what Boogie has done, and ostensibly what Logan Paul has done. The Coffee Zoo project, which I don't even fucking know, but apparently it's like a video game or something that's crypto-based, and there was going to be NFTs and then also like token sales. It was a whole thing, and these things are always, these bullshit crypto projects are always kind of hard to understand on purpose so that it's difficult to unravel them and difficult for a person to wrap their mind about what they're actually putting their money into. But central to this was Logan Paul. In the same way that Boogie was promoting Fatty Coin, Logan Paul was promoting CryptoZoo. Logan Paul, however, is huge, and not in the Boogie sense, in the actual relevance sense, somehow. Despite this guy looking a lot like the Tiger King, that really, really gay guy, who went to jail for trying to murder that ice-cold Florida woman who killed her husband. What's his name? His name was like Joe Dirt or something. He looked like... Okay, here, wait. Someone has a thought chat. Let's put this on the screen. CryptoZoo is a bullshit scam where you buy and breed animals, but the animals are Adobe stock images. Wow. Sounds like a really fun game. I definitely trust Logan Paul. Joe Exotic, that's right. Joe Exotic, here, this guy. Kiwi Farts. He figured this out. was okay. So Logan Paul originally responded to Coffeezilla with graciousness. He said, "Wow, this Coffeezilla guy, he really exposed this crypto scam thing way ahead before I got in too deep. Whew, thank God. He pulled me out before I was about to do something really stupid." That's how he responded originally. However, now he's doubled back down. He says, "No, we're going to deliver Crypto Zoo. We're going to deliver what we promised on. It's not a scam, and fuck this Coffeezilla guy." And Logan explicitly says that he's going to go after the people that made him look bad. So he's filed a lawsuit, and here's the thing that I have. I don't know what the fuck he's being sued for. And Coffeezilla doesn't say, and I actually don't know what the fuck it is. So I am extremely uninformed on this point. Here we are. Wait, is this it? Logan has gone full retard and has gone to sue him. So this is Paul v. Find Eisen. Okay, it's pretty funny for a guy who does investigative journalism to be called Find Eisen. Okay, this is the complaint, the main document. Let's see this. Plaintiff Logan Paul, a globally recognized entertainer, athlete, and entrepreneur, brings this defamation action. It's one defamation action. Lowercase I internet detective dismissed with prejudice for not knowing how to fucking spell. Which internet? Did he defame you on the big internet? That's the proper noun. It's called the internet with a capital case I. Or did he defame you on like some other internet, like a influencer internet? You got to tell me which internet, because this doesn't sum it up. This is a long complaint. 20 pages. 47 pages. Show me the evidence. I want to see the defamatory statement. Investigating Logan Paul's biggest scam. Seeks to drum up his viewership for his channel by promoting and publishing a series of videos on what he claimed was Logan Paul's biggest scam. Right off the bat, that's how you know it's a quality complaint written by a quality attorney. When you have filler words and colloquialisms like right off the bat, that's how you know this shit was written by a professional. I don't know. I assume that this is too complicated to get the gist of. The biggest fraud in Logan Paul's scam. Ibanez. Oh no relation. Sorry, I don't want to read all this on screen, but it is a defamation claim, which is a notoriously expensive claim to make. It is absolutely just punishment. Because what Logan Paul has done, Logan Paul makes more fucking money than this guy, by far. And this guy knows I'm going to spend however many thousands of dollars to write this bullshit. And I'm going to drag this stupid fucker through the glass to get to the end of it. And yeah, he'll win. But he won't be able to claim that this was malicious litigation because of absolute privilege. And the process is the punishment, and go fuck yourself. So I don't know. I would never want to do business with this guy. This guy is obviously a gigantic piece of shit. I can look at him, like I can just look at his stupid fucking face, and I can say, this guy is an enormous faggot, and I would never want anything to do with him, ever, for any reason. It's a shame that people like this are able to make it and have the privilege to fuck over random people who try to help people not waste their money on bullshit like Crypto Zoo. I dare say so myself, chat. Cool. So, at the WWE, this guy right here, this guy got up to no good. He showed up at the WWE with a whiteboard and some markers, and he was going to write. First off, he opens strong with, "The man in the pickle suit tricked me again." A reference, of course, to our dear Marvin, who is the man in the pickle suit, the Baltimore weed smoking, black girl loving, Jewish pickle suited man, the OG. He got called out immediately on the WWE this year. Then he says Earl Dobe is a PDF. Now, I don't think he's actually a PDF. I think that might be a some kind of reference. But Earl Doob, actually, it's not Dobe. It's Doob, aka the White Bowser, is a PDF. Which I'll just read the first sentence. Earl Doob is a 30-year-old autistic man who's definitely Jewish, by the way, who lives at his mother's house in Shelby Township, Michigan. Comes from the fact he has severe, extremely negative traits, smugness, and the fact he can never shut the fuck up, and that he's a lolicon enjoyer.
Your boy. Doob.
It's Dube, I guess, and not Doob. Anyways, this guy's a negative opinion about him. Then he came back with another sign. This guy with some colors. DSP, you have an addiction. Now, this one is very pointed because DSP loves the WWE. He loves gay man. He loves the wrestling. He loves it when big burly guys in spandex smash and slam each other with the chairs and the bench and all this other shit. He loves the soapbox. He loves the drama. And he loves spending tons and tons of money on what he calls Candy Crush disguised as a wrestling game. So this guy holds up a sign and says, DSP, you have an addiction, which DSP might have seen live. He was identified as Muda Scale, a.k.a. James Carlson. And we figured this out, or people figured this out, because he actually posted the pictures of his boards on Twitter. Turns out he is cursed. He's cursed, of course, obviously, because he is a ginger. That's tragic. I would never wish that disability on anyone. Also, he owns a Sonichu medallion, apparently. He likes Lola Bunny. I think he's like a furry weirdo. He says, Lonnie also fucks dogs, just a reminder. Umaga Smoking Graba says, they get off at fictional animals, so I wouldn't be surprised if Lonnie fucks dogs on his spare time. And Mudaskell says, least tell me they're like bipedal, like a Lola bunny. Still weird, but not as weird as being into regular animals like My Little Pony. Lola Bunny, I mean, who hasn't seen Space Jam? Come on now. Now, MLP, that's fucked up. I'm glad that Mudaskell here is here to lay down the law and I delineate between too furry and the right amount of furry. This is in response to Bible Black, which is like an infamous rape hentai. I mean, there is a regular porn on UMD, even though I admit that's kind of interesting to see hentai on this format. Like a DVD? Want to hear about Korasami OC Child I came up with has a interesting thing about her. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Maybe draw a Korasami kid next, like their daughter, son, child, who's in between non-binary. Give yourself a challenge. What the fuck? He's like, Korra is the black girl or tan girl from the Avatar cartoon. I don't know who Sami is. I'm assuming that's another name. So he's like, I want to see like a mixed race anime child, please. I desperately need a mixed race anime child. And I don't know. I've never in my life been like, yeah, I want to see the mixed race anime child. Her lesbian GF? How would they have a kid? Explain this. Bring back the Pete segment. Flashing his anime knowledge. Listen here. Avatar plays on Cartoon Network. If it's on Cartoon Network, it's not embarrassing to know. It's another girl. So if it's a lesbian, that doesn't make any fucking sense. If it's a lesbian, how the fuck? That's why he's desperate to see the ship. I need the mixed race lesbian offspring of these two anime characters. Is that it? Is that Korra and Asami? He really likes them, huh? Most straight guy who collects mostly straight, so a little bit bi, I guess. I guess in that Destiny way where he just really likes sucking dick. Who collects VHS is a fan of ATL Avatar and LOK Legend of Korra. Ha ha! Listen, look here. I know the shit. I know this because of E:*R. I'm aware of what these things are. And cute animals. He, him. All for the awesome trans and bi people. Cringe! Cringe! Can we get a cringe in the chat? I'm no longer a fan of this guy. I don't know. I could think maybe he has some redeeming qualities, but then we got to the cringe chat. Come on now. Very sad. And he uses the same email for everything. Applied sexual assault. This Neba writes rape porn fanfic from the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Graphic depictions of violence, major character death, rape, non-con, implied or referenced sexual assault. What's the name of it? From Dusk Till Dawn. Okay. There you go. Congrats, my dude. Congrats on the medallion. Looks sick. Looks like he's got tomato sauces for his eyes. Non-con just means non-consensual. It just means rape. I don't know what the difference between rape and non-consensual is. I guess there's like an implied violence there, but I don't know. Now we slide right into the DSP segment. Darkside Phil was gifted a computer. This computer is apparently very high end. It's a flagship product from whatever website sells this. He was gifted it. Someone paid cash money to send Darkside Phil this computer, which you would assume he would be very grateful for, right? I mean, imagine how you would feel if some fucking guy just gave you a free computer that was very high end. You would be like, yay, thank you, right? That's how I imagine it would be. Darkside Phil, however, is not like an ordinary person. So he gets this computer, and the thing with DSP is that he's not much of a computer guy. He likes mobile phones. He likes console game man. He does not like PC game man. That's outside of his realm of knowledge. So, but he wants to get with the times. It is 2024, and Darkside Phil decides, okay, since this guy has just given me a 4-figure computer that looks awesome, it looks really cool. It's like this weird, like, cell. It looks like an object in a video game. Like, it would rise out of the ground and have, like, a smoke machine, like, making it all foggy. It would have, like, a really loud sci-fi effect as it's, like, unlocked. And then you gotta pull the handle and then run away with it because it's, like, super important and expensive. And it's, like, the objective. What I'm trying to say is it looks nice. So since he gets this really nice looking sci-fi computer, he thinks, fuck it, I'll put it together on stream. So Darkside Phil is very interesting to me in that he has this very explanatory way of describing things. He speaks with a lot of confidence, and he speaks in this way that is very enrapturing, and he speaks as if he is very learned. When he talks and he describes what he intends to do, he sort of enumerates that I'm interested in setting this up, and I know how I'm going to do it. I know how I'm going to put it. I know where I'm going to put it. I know how I'm going to assemble it in such a way that it's the easiest to deal with. And it really makes you feel like, oh, he has an exact place. He has this set up in his mind already. He knows exactly what he's going to do. He's done this a million times before. And he's very confident in his ability to do this. Cool. So he explains that how he's going to set it up, and then he gets into it. He plugs it in, and he just fumbles around with it for a while.
Stuck on the webcam. Shoot.
Kind of cool looking, right? It's a very nice looking computer. Very fancy.
No wonder.
Definitely something that, like a rich dad who works in accounting would buy his son who like loves Fortnite. He's like, my boy loves that Fortnite game. I hear him yelling upstairs with his friends about chicken dinners all the time. For his birthday, I'm gonna buy him a $12,000 computer. Just walks into the store and just says like, I want your top of the line gaming computer. And like, well, sir, this thing right here has fucking rainbow LEDs on every fucking thing inside of it. He's like, damn, that's awesome. Give me that. So he buys it and ships it over to his son DSP, who's 40 years old, who then fumbles with trying to figure out where to place it. Does eventually get it set up. It does start glowing LGB, or I meant to say RGB for like the rainbow, but I just instinctively my trolley tracks switched over to LGB because of the rainbow. And then he has tech trouble. He's even timestamped this. He went back and added timestamps to this fucking disaster stream so you know what's going on. He gets Windows set up, and that's about as far as he gets. He immediately recognizes a problem. And the problem is that the fucking thing does not connect to the internet. He plugged it in with the Ethernet cable during the fumbling phase, and now 25 minutes in, he's gotten Windows set up, he created his account, he's ready to go. The fucking thing won't connect to the internet, so he doesn't know what to do. And his chat is screaming at him to download updated drivers for his Ethernet port. And one of the funny things that he does is he somehow like capture cards his offline computer. And he's like, I don't even see the Ethernet cable I don't even see the Ethernet port. And then someone actually manages to communicate to him that a GBE means gigabit Ethernet. And then he figures out, okay, I do have a Ethernet thing for it. When people say you got to check your router, he refuses. He refuses to even entertain the idea of if this device has connected to his router successfully. Because everything else in his computer room is just using Wi-Fi, I guess. But he doesn't even fucking consider it because he's streaming. And it's like he doesn't think to maybe check to see if that port is disabled or something, or if it's like a MAC address whitelist. Like there are so many things that can happen at the router level to not allow a device internet access. It could be a driver issue, but it could also be a router issue. But he's like seething. He's seething. Like just 30 minutes into this, he hits his first frustration and he's like, yak. Well, this is why I fucking hate PC gaming. Thanks a lot. Oh, this is so much better than a console. Like this guy just got a multi-$1,000 top of the line flagship gaming pre-assembled everything. Doesn't have to fucking think about it. Plug the fucker in, update the software. Boom, good to go. And he's just like angry about it. And he's saying, I don't want to fucking do this. I don't like using computers. And then it's like, that's how he shows that he's grateful for this thing. And he's just seething on the stream for like 45 fucking minutes. And I'm just thinking like, all he has to do, it could be a driver issue, but all he has to do to rule that out is by the way, he was complaining, this was my favorite thing. He was complaining at some point about how he doesn't have USB ports. Motherfucker, I see your universal serial bus controllers. I know that you have you have at least 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like you have 8, bro. Like, I think he's just counting USB 1s or something, but then you have at least like 3 or 4 in the back, and I guarantee you have at least 2 USB-C controllers. So you can take your phone and you can plug in USB-C to USB-C, you can tether it, and then you will have internet access regardless. Like, guaranteed. I have never had an issue, even with USB 1 plugins, where a USB phone to computer Wi-Fi tethering did not work. That has always worked for me. I've never seen it not work, even on old computers. So he's I don't know how nobody suggested that. You plug in the fucking phone and bam, you're good to go. You just then click the little search thing It updates all your drivers. Everything's fine. But he's like just staring at the screen for another 20 minutes. And then one guy tells him to uninstall his driver, like uninstall the device, and he almost does it. He almost uninstalls his Ethernet driver just completely for no fucking like why would you think that would work at all? Yeah, it's just crazy. Like all you have to, like you can get internet by just tethering, first of all. And then second of all, check your router because you probably have a MAC whitelist. Chances are when he was getting DDoS attacked and stuff, and he was like the guy from Comcast came over and he was like, "I want you to make sure that router is 100% secured, okay? I don't want to get hacked. I don't want to get DDoS attacked. You give that the tightest security settings that you can give it, okay?" And then the guy did, and gave it like a MAC whitelist for all the devices in his room, and you just have to add this fucking thing onto it, and it would work. So yeah, I don't know. It was really. I watched this entire thing. I'm just baffled by it. Like, bro, just plug in your phone. First things first. Tether your phone to it. Log onto the internet. Update your drivers. If that doesn't work, then check your router. I don't know. I don't know how. The really interesting thing about Phil is that he's incompetent. Okay, like, yeah, I got that. But it's not just that he's incompetent. There's lots of dumb fucks on the internet who have no issue. You got, like, King Cobra JFS and Bossman who are totally incompetent, but they still manage to get their shit up and running. How is Darkside Phil less incompetent, more incompetent than those people? And I think a huge reason why is that Darkside Phil doesn't have, like, an inner circle. Like, he doesn't have people around him that he trusts, you know, where if he has an issue, he just says, oh, I'll just talk to my friend who is good with computers and walk down the checklist of what to do. He just hits a wall. He's at the limit of his very limited knowledge. And then he just starts getting angry and starts pouting and like yelling about how much he hates it and complaining that things aren't the way that they should be and that he knows better. And it's a really bizarre personality set. I'm just like, how do you not have somebody that you know that can tell you how to tether your phone and check your router whitelist, bro? I don't know. I enjoyed this video. It's an hour long, and it's mostly just him being angry. So I'll play like a minute of it. Like just the last 2 minutes so you can get a vibe for how this is. But this is like where he's just sitting in silence staring, like angry the entire time. And it does, like from 20 minutes in, once he realizes that it doesn't connect, all the way to the end, he's just like sitting there with dead air, like just like grimacing at his screen as his chat tries to scream sense into him. And if anyone in chat wants to try to tell me why he has no friends whatsoever, I am genuinely interested how he's reached the age of like 40 something without having a single confidant that he can talk to about simple tech issues. I really don't know.
I guess I'm just never using this thing. I guess I'm going to return it.
It's lonely at the top.
I'm
That's
not
a good
tech
one.
guy. No one in chat seems to be able to explain what to do of any sound mind, right?
Andy will help him. Andy will figure this out. Andy is the key to all of this. He's not likable. That's why he has no friends. So I mean, the dead air felt it. I love this is the best thing I've added to the overlay in a long ass time.
All right, so someone basically is telling me I need to download these two certain drivers. They know actually what motherboard this PC has and everything, but I don't know how to install drivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to install if I get them.
That's the other thing, is that the chat was trying to tell him, like, oh, just go to your other computer that does work. Download the drivers that you need as installable executables, and then port them over by USB. And he's like, I can't do that. I only have 2 USB ports, one in the back and one in the front. It's so awkward. It's such a bad design. He even says it's like form over function or something. Like, they don't put all the USB ports in the spot that he would prefer them. So he's like bad-mouthing the designers of the case. Like, the USB spots should be in the front. Even though you can see where it's at in his room, and the fucker can walk behind that. And if the USB spot was on the underside of the case, he would still be able to access this just fine. For whatever reason, the spots being in the back is really upsetting to him. I don't get it. And then, but yeah, it's like, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to go to the internet and download drivers. But I don't know. The tethering thing should have been the go-to.
People don't know how to do it. Like, I don't know how to install it on here. And I also have no open USB port to plug in a USB drive. Because both of them is now being used for my USB adapters. I guess if I plug those inside, then I could plug a thumb drive into the front of this PC.
He explained when he was showing the USB drives a while ago that one of those USB slots is for his super bougie fighting game controller. He has like one of those game pads that sits in your lap that you can use that's like a perfect stick for fighting games. If you're used to like the old console arcade game controls for fighting games. And it's just like you're installing drivers. All you have to do is get the installer onto the computer and then you can free up that USB slot. If you had one slot, you would be able to get these files off and then plug back in your mouse. But you're complaining that you don't want to unplug your fucking controller. Unplug the controller that you're not using because you don't have internet access to play your fucking fighting games. And then once you've moved the files off of your USB stick, plug it back in. Why is this? It's like Darkside Phil is tasked with the old puzzle of like the hen, the fox, and the grain, where you have to like bring over the hen eats the grain and the fox eats the hen. And you can't leave them together, but you have to cross all three one at a time across the bridge. You do the chicken. You do the fox, you bring back the chicken, you bring across the grain, you go back alone, you bring back the chicken. It's like that. It's like most people in the third grade are exposed to a puzzle of this complexity that they can then solve and use in the future. I have 3 things. I don't need to use any of them, but I have to free up a slot. How do I do it? I don't fucking know. I'm going to return it. It's it's broken. I don't need this piece of shit.
This build is so weird. Because I don't have open USB ports. I have to go inside the PC to get open USB ports. So again, style over substance. The style is kind of weird, and it makes it harder to do stuff like this. Like, sure, if this worked fine, this style would be great, but it's just a major pain right now. So thank you, $5 tipper. Let's see what other tips these are.
And then just stare.
Okay, I'm not doing the IP config stuff. Sorry. If it doesn't even connect, it ain't gonna work. Oh my god.
People are trying to help him when he's angry. Stop trying to help me. I don't want solutions. I want to complain.
All right.
What part of
I'm gonna have to use a thumb drive and download drivers onto a thumb drive and somehow load them manually onto this PC.
Somehow. What's also really funny about that is like, if you want to do a complete offline driver update, then yeah, you can do that. But you don't have to do a complete offline driver update. You just need the one. Your update is something wrong with your motherboard, or if you have a network card, you just need to update that. And then if that works, then you can install the rest automatically. You only need the one. But he's acting like he has to install drivers for the entire fucking computer offline.
That's what I'm being told. Although, luckily, someone sent me the information on how to do it, because I would have never figured this out on my own. Like, I don't know what motherboard's in it or whatever, right? Oh, excuse me.
Why do
So,
people... I don't know. Where's the guy that said this? Why do people watch this? I have no fucking idea. I have no idea why people... I don't think a lot of them do. I don't think many people do watch Darkside Phil anymore. I think he gets like a lot of hate watchers, but his content is like... he has like a handful of people that watch him that he just milks really hard. Like, I think if you look at Darkside Phil's viewers and his income, his viewer to income ratio is probably one of the highest viewer to income ratios of any streamer ever. Like, he doesn't have many people that watch him, but the people that do, the dents, they're called, are some of the most dedicated dents that have ever existed. Okay, that's it. He quits his stream after that and says, I'm going to update my drivers. Cool. Very nice, Darkside Phil. Can't wait to see what you do with your cool computer, bro. Oh, sorry. I wanted to move on from Darkside Phil, but I can't because guess what? Pay, and Andy Worski have locked in the Kang of hate himself, Darkside Phil. And a lot of people speculated that PPP bought him that computer. I saw some people who don't know because if you don't know, the Darkside Phil area, the forum is like a black hole that only people obsessed with Darkside Phil post into, with limited exception. So if he has any interactions with like PPP in the Kino Casino, they're just like, who who are these people? And they're very angry that he's like white knighting them. Or that PPP is, because apparently PPP and Andy have been like hyping him up as a Kang for a long time, and that's like upsetting the Darkside Phil A-logs. And there's a conspiracy that pay paid for Darkside Phil's fancy new computer that unfortunately is a piece of shit and can't connect to the internet because it's just broken. So they have locked in. He appeared in chat, and that was hype. He apparently said something and praised PPP in his chat. Where's the message at? Here it is. DSP Gaming Real says, because I can see someone saying they're an incel like 40 years old, but 24, come on. So I guess they were just talking about incels or whatever, and DSP decided to opine and say, like, if you're 24 years old, you can't say that you're an incel. You're just a late bloomer. That's the DSP take on that, I guess. But his appearance in chat was a fucking catastrophic event and sent shockwaves around the sector that DSP has entered the fray. And it's just casually typing in the Kino Casino chat. Which reminds me that after this stream, 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, which I think is 10 p.m. Eastern, and what would that be? Like 2 a.m. UK time. So if you're interested in that, they're doing an interview with him tonight. Yes, tonight. So just I would raid them, but I don't think they'll be live. If they're live, I'll raid them, but I think that they're starting to interview DSP. Cool. That's that. Now, there is a Rekieta update. Actually, there might have been more Rekieta updates than I have slotted up. Let me check real quick. I want to say that I had something else. I did. Sorry, let me get back to that real quick. Okay, so here's a summary of Rekieta's happenings, courtesy of Autistic Right. There was a interesting new matter of public record attached, which has become a meme, and there was a transcript attached to that. Did I read this? No, I did not. It was on Sunday. So there was a hearing on the 6th of June. April M. Holt took the stand on in defense of Rekieta. So Rekieta still has her down on lock as of June 6th. The cops had a warrant. They found cocaine, firearms, ammunition, and ketamine. The police testified that Rekieta's household was disgusting. The people testified that they had to step over dirty clothes in order to navigate around his house. So they described it as a disgusting place to be. Let's see. We already knew that the second youngest, who was 8 and then turned 9, like right after, tested positive for cocaine at the cutoff. Rekieta yelled objection instead of his own attorney, and the reason why he objected is because they had a toxicology report, and Rekieta objected to someone who was not a toxicologist interpreting the numbers. So the whole thing that says the 8-year-old had cocaine in her system at 5,000 picograms per milligram, 10 times the cutoff. He said, objection. I need a true toxicologist to tell me that 5,000 is greater than 500 and 500 is greater than 0. Objection. And I think the judge even said something snarky like, are you his attorney or is he representing himself? Because he kept like interrupting the judge at some point. Alicia Sweep, who has the funniest name in the case, said that it's the consequence of our actions while hugging her oldest son. So Alicia Sweep testified that Rekieta's wife said this to her oldest son. The foster care parents, so apparently the kids are divvied up. No one person can handle all 5 kids. So the grandparents on both Rekieta's side and Kayla's side have taken custody of some of the kids. They were required to take substance awareness training, and the purpose of this is that they are not educating them on anything except how to recognize intoxication, because they're instructed to not allow Reketas to see their kids unless they're sober as part of the custody hearing, and they have to take, in order to be the custodian of the kids, they have to undergo a awareness training program so that they can see the signs of inebriation. This is what this person looks like drunk. This is how a person talks when high on cocaine, and so on and so forth, so that they can say, you're not allowed to see the kids, you're not in a good state of mind right now. The Canada County Health and Human Services asked for hair follicle tests from Baldo and Kayla, and they said no. So I don't think they had a requirement that they had to do this. I'm not sure what the technicality is, but plainly the state was not pleased by this. They said that they will have to do usage assessments to maintain visitation rights of their kids. And when Alicia Sweep, the CPS woman, was touring their house, she was denied access to his bedroom. And Rekieta has repeatedly testified that Alicia Sweep is lying under oath about this. And from what I understand, and I could be wrong, when she was in the house, he allowed her into the house to see it. She's as a CPS lady, she apparently cannot force her way into the house. It's not a warrant. It's not a police officer. But they wanted to see the children and assess their living condition. Alicia Sleep wants to do a tour of the house. He allows her through the house, and her testimony is the one about how there were clothes and shit just all over the place, and it was hard to walk on without stepping on something. And she asked to see their bedroom, and Rekieta said no. And Alicia Sweep testified that she was denied access to her bedroom, and Rekieta has on stream, like the day after he got out of jail and did like a stream, he said that she lied under oath because she asked to see it, and he said no, but he didn't like physically block her from entering the room. So he's saying that she's misrepresenting that she was denied access because he didn't like physically force her to not access his bedroom. So he's accusing her of false testimony, which is important because of a thing I'll get to in a second. I made a statement last stream, which I'm sure he heard because it got clipped to Alyssa Clips, shout out, who I think he watches every single thing about him that gets posted to Alyssa Clips' channel. And one of the things that I said repeatedly was that I would accept an affidavit from Rekieta to consent to the release of the body cam footage, which requires either A, to be released into evidence, or B, to have one of the parties involved, any of them, it could be one of the state people, but that's a hard ask, or any of the people present to consent. I explained this before. April, Kayla, and Rekieta could all consent to the release of the footage from the government. They do not. Rekieta messaged me on Signal. He gave me the Baldo signal and sent me a missive about his statements. And his statement was that he petitioned the CHIPS case, the child custody case, to be sealed. And because it is sealed, if he were to consent to the release of the body cam footage, that would look really bad for him, especially if it was for the Kiwi Farms, because we're a Nazi doxing murder site or something. And he said that the footage would exonerate him, but the layout of the house, having a layout of the house be on the internet, would just show the court how reckless he is with the well-being of his children. Not to say that the fucking layout of the house isn't on Zillow, which it was, that you can't get the layout of the house from public records, which you can, and not to say that having your child test positive for cocaine is reckless endangerment, because that also is. And then he also went on to say that I fled the U.S. for unknown reasons, and also that the Kiwi Farms was a bunch of lolly avatars. So I don't know what he's implying there. It was a kind of ridiculous statement, and I just let it slide. Actually, I didn't. I in my reply to him, I was pretty fucking hostile, and I said, it's not my fault that this happened to you. I didn't put cocaine in your room. I didn't have the hot wife over. I didn't expose your kids to cocaine. You did that. And then he got snippy or whatever. He does this really annoying thing in messages where he says peace, like peace. He does like a monologue, sends me like 3 or 4 very, very long messages and says peace. And then I'll reply. And then he has to get the last word, so he just replies back. It's like, I thought you were done, bro. You said peace. I don't know. He's just such like an aggressive dickhead now. It's unbelievable. But not to take anything on the chin. Today was the day, chat. Now comes Joshua Moon. Pursuant to General Practice Rule 402D and other authorities cited herein, and moves for the permission to audio and video record all future proceedings in this matter, a broadcast and dissemination of these proceedings to the public at large. Rekieta's omnibus hearing is on the 28th of August, and Hardin has put together this lovely 10-page, basically kind of an intervention in Rekieta's criminal case to say it should be public. And there are quite a good number of reasons why it should be public, not least of which is that we have 6 affidavits from various journalists and attorneys across the great country of the United States. In particular, Sean signed an affidavit for us. I think Legal Mindset also signed an affidavit for us. The documents are in the thread right here if you want to go through and see everyone who signed it. There was a couple people who were just like, fans of Rekieta who signed it out of nowhere because I put out the message on Zitter while I still had it. But Sean in particular went out of his way. I went out of my way to sign an affidavit saying that I would be interested. And in addition, by the way, the same day, and this is why we were held up on this, is that there is a prior post, if I can find it, where... Oh, by the way, don't look at that. That's my really shitty handwriting. There's a story behind that, and it's funny, so I'm going to keep it for a rainy day. Right before this happened, we had just received something, one of our requests. This was sent on a thumb drive, and we had to wait for it to arrive in the fucking mail in the District of Columbia. And what it is it's actually 128 megabytes of files. This is a list of all FOIA requests. It has a different name in Minnesota, but it's basically just the FOIA. It's a list of all FOIA requests made to Kaneohe County asking for the footage. This is 578 pages. A lot of it's duplicates, but there are a lot of journalists. There's journalists from the UK. There's a true crime lady in Connecticut. Ewu, by the way, I've made fun of Ewu on the podcast for the What's New Ewu crew. Today, we have a truly disgusting case of child neglect that will send a chill down your spine. A once prominent YouTuber by the name of Nicholas Rekieta, high with 100,000 concurrent live viewers, was now high on cocaine, as was his child. Ewu Storytime, or Ewu Media, it's Ewu Media, asked for the Rekieta footage and for his arrest records and documents. So there were a couple, and they have a 5.8 million subscriber channel on YouTube. They were the most prominent person in this. But there were also a couple journalists and stuff too. So these all ended up in the report at the last second. We said we have all this interest in the case that bolsters our claim, and this is my cheekiness. This is a cheeky, not to say that it's not true. but it is cheeky, chat. Rekieta, the defendant, has stated that all trials should be televised to protect the integrity of judicial proceedings in American democracy more generally. Mr. Rekieta, since his release, has alleged that Candy-Ojai County and its employees have committed a grave injustice against him, alleging by name that a children's services supervisor from the Candy-Ojai County Health and Human Services, Alicia Sleep, lied under oath to harm his case. And I cannot... I cannot click that. Hold up, give me a second. It's funny, so I'm gonna find it real quick. I think it's one of the last ones. If not, oh, it's also on my profile, so I'll just go to my profile real quick. And then it's at 900 seconds, so right here. Actually, I can just type
Charges
it.
will be dealt with in course.
Oh, 1549.
You know what many of you are saying
Me
about
trying to do math like a fucking retard.
when you do take a moment and you work with government, and you can find this in the recently leaked documents, and you cooperate by, say, asking them to come into your home, they will lie under oath to the judge. That's right, Alicia Sweep. They will lie under oath to the judge. They will fabricate a situation that did not occur. They will lie about your willingness to cooperate. They will lie about things that you said. They will generate statements said by other people out of nothing. Because I was there and that wasn't said.
So,
They will violate
chat.
the rules of evidence.
Vote 1 if you believe that the Rekieta hearing should be public to protect Rekieta from Alicia Sweep. Can we get vote 2 if you don't think that the hearing should be public and he has nothing to worry about? I mean, just from that, what I just heard right there, that's pretty clear. You know, it may not be a grand criminal conspiracy, but he is alleging in a way that this woman conspired against him and lied under oath to disadvantage him in court proceedings. What you could call malfeasance in a legal sense. Pretty dire, chat. I don't think anyone should be subjected to government malfeasance. And I think that if the government is being malfeasant, the public must step up and hold them accountable, chat, which is why we are 105 votes for yes, 110 votes for yes, and 3 votes for no. One of the most slam dunk polls ever. I can't believe it. 97.4% yes. I think that's a resounding answer. Candy-Ojai County, take notice. And then a lot of this is just the technicalities, because he goes over the precedent for this. Is this a thing that we can actually legally do? Here's why we can do it. But in particular, I'll just read the rest of that paragraph. Permitting Mr. Moon to record these proceedings and broadcast them via audiovisual means will ensure the interests of all involved are protected, including Mr. Rekieta's. Due to the magnitude of interest in attending these proceedings, it is likely physically impossible for all interested to attend these proceedings without technological assistance. Public access to these proceedings via electronic means will promote transparency, educate the public, and have a salutary effect on all involved. I personally would have more trust in my government if I could see the proceedings, chat. There you go. You can read the entire thing on the forum, as well as the binder, in case you want to see who else wrote in the message. Interestingly enough, my thing as well shows up as a our thing shows up as well. So it was me asking for help real quick. That's him making fun of my signature. And then finally, Kayla was offered a plea deal at the last second. I don't think the details of the plea deal are known yet. So, who knows what it is that they're offering her? They might be going easy on her, or, it could be anything. A plea deal can really be almost anything. as long as it's within the bounds of the law. So, who knows? Who knows what they're trying to do? What kind of evil government malfeasant type thing, situation type deals will be going on? I probably should feature that, huh? I will, actually. I'll do it like this. Rekieta. Wait. Should I say I don't know how, because it's the feature tagline. If I say I, any mod can feature it. I don't want to say Joshua Moon because that's me. That's a weird way. I'll say we, royal we, including you, chat. We have submitted to Candio High County a request to make Rekieta's omnibus hearing on the 28th public by live stream. Technically, I guess it could be any kind of audio-visual recording, but I'll say live stream. We chat. We. I'm sure Rekieta will be thrilled. I can't. By the way, there's a really stimpy quote in this. I wonder if I can find, just real quick, since I'm feeling snappy. There was one from Sean. Nope, that's Hardin. Robert Schilling. That is definitely not Sean. Jacob Maffey. Ray Pierce. Where's Sean? Sean! There he is. Sean! I think he says, I am a lowercase I internet journalist. Throw this out. He fucked it up. I can't believe it. Attorney licensed in the state of Ohio. I'm an internet journalist, commentator on legal issues, and frequently appear in videos. I have been closely following and covering the above caption case that was filed against the defendant. During my coverage of the case, I have averaged so far 5,000, tooting his own horn there, on my YouTube channel under that name, with approximately 100,000 additional viewers able to watch my videos at later times. I desire to attend all proceedings in the above captioned criminal case. I believe my audience is also interested in the proceedings of this matter. The interest I share with my audience is that matter in large part due to the defendant Nicholas Rekieta and his status as a legal commentator himself. Talks about the Amber Heard thing. I think I even mentioned in my thing. I included this. I don't know if what's his face, if Hardin kept it in. I did say that he was even included in the Depp v. Heard Netflix documentary. I support the petition of Joshua Moon. That's very nice. I want to say there's a part of this. Yeah, no, it doesn't include the bit that I thought. He wrote his own, by the way. We handed out a template to people who would be interested, and I want to say he's the only one that just completely rewrote his thing. Besides me, of course. I am an adult, technically, incompetent, technically, to testify. I am a sole member, blah, blah, blah. Here's my website, set.st. The Kiwi Farms, of course, is an uppercase I internet forum chat. It says, over the years, I have personally appeared, I guess I should read mine. I forgot what I wrote. It's been so long. I have personally appeared on stream with Mr. Rekieta multiple times to discuss my website and other newsworthy events he was covering at that time. Because of my deep and long-standing interest in Mr. Rekieta and the interest that is shared by Lolcal LLC and its customers. That's weird. I don't know why I called you guys customers. I mean, I guess you are, technically. You guys are my customers, chat. I desire to attend all proceedings in the above captioned criminal case in Kaneohe County and to comment on such proceedings. I suspect that those who use Kiwi Farms would benefit from my commentary and would be interested in these proceedings and Mr. Rekieta's response to the current charges which he faces. Mr. Rekieta previously commented upon trials and broadcast his commentary on various social media platforms. Notable trials which Mr. Rekieta included, Rittenhouse, Jeopardy Heard. This is the one that I wanted to find. Mr. Rekieta has always expressed a healthy skepticism of the government. In a live stream Mr. Rekieta shared on YouTube on June 19, 2024, Mr. Rekieta spoke to a live audience of 6,000 viewers for the first time since his arrest In that live stream, he outlined parts of his defense, alleging broad government malfeasance and directly accusing a state social worker named Alicia Sweep of lying under oath specifically to deprive him of parental rights. In the past, Mr. Rekieta had advocated that all trials be made public. With recent allegations of state and local government conspiracy against him, it would be an immense benefit to the public trust for criminal proceedings against Mr. Rekieta to be made public to the greatest extent possible under law. It would be difficult for me to travel to Minnesota, no shit, to view these proceedings, and even if I and others who are interested did make the trip to Minnesota, it is unlikely that all the interested individuals be able to physically fit in the courtroom. I mean, just me and Sean would fill that fucker out. We got to make some space here. We got to throw some benches out if we want to fit more people in. On information and belief, it would be equally difficult or even more difficult for those who wish to view the trial and my commentary upon it to travel to Minnesota to view the proceedings personally. To demonstrate the broad interest in the proceedings, I asked people who are interested in attending the trial to sign a petition online. This petition received over 1,000 signatures within hours and currently sits at 2,369. We're going to fill this in like the first week, by the way, but I just capped it off early. This is representing only a small intersection of interest between our audiences. The true size of interest in the charges against Mr. Rekieta is magnitudes larger, but it would be impossible for even 2,000 people to personally attend these proceedings due to the size of the courtroom and the inability of the court to accommodate so many people without disrupting its operations. I ask that the court permit me to access these proceedings via audio and video means, and I believe that if my request is granted, it will facilitate thousands of people in attending these proceedings. So what that means, finally, in conclusion, chat, is that if granted, the court kind of has its choice of how it chooses to do things. The smartest and easiest thing for it to do, because I think they already have their own system, is to simply live stream it, like on YouTube or something. They probably have the capacity to do that. If they don't, if push really comes to shove, and they're like, okay, fine, you can live stream it, but you got to do it yourself. We're fucking busy. You got to come in here, and you got to set up the shit. I might have to figure out who the fuck I'm going to send. I'm going to have to select a champion of the Kiwi farms to go forth and conduct audiovisual recordings on my behest. Now, there's a couple names. I already mentioned Aaron Imholt. He already agreed that he would testify, or not testify. He would do the recording. Someone said that not to do him because he's bad at it. He's not good at setting up the camera and shit. So, Medicare was nominated by his fans to be my champion. To roll in with the highest quality, high fidelity camera possible. Maybe Jade can help set that up. That would be a good pick as well. I think Sean even personally said he would go and attend. There was somebody who was really nearby. I think it might have even been Sean, who said that he would fly out to fucking the middle of nowhere, Minnesota, to record the hearing. So I'm just saying this is like several steps removed. This is if it gets approved, and also they say you got to do it yourself. Fuck you. If that happens, then it's like, okay, now we got some crunch time. Who are we gonna send? Maybe we could send Alyssa. You think Alyssa will do it? If I pay for her plane and send her out to That's the funniest one, I think, because I think it would really piss Rekieta off if it was Alyssa Clips in the courtroom. She might even do it too. That might be able to swing it. God, that is funny. That's a funny thought, actually. I like that. All right, we have some. What I'm saying is we got some options, chat. Well, maybe it'll be this will be the final battle of Jim's driveway. We'll send Jim and Alyssa Clips and Sean and Aaron, and then a bunch of people will show up. Like Ralph decides, what do you mean? What do you think you mean sending a woman in to do a man's job, boy? I'm flying up there with my camera, and this is going to be a Kill Stream exclusive. And of course, Ralph showing up in Minnesota. That's right next to fucking Canada. So then you got PPP and Andy Worski coming down. And it'll just snowball like that. More and more people will show up to the Kandiyohi County, completely defeating the purpose of the filing to open the case. Obviously, that's hyperbole. It will be an orderly production, and no disruption to the trial will occur. I'm speaking from a comedic standpoint. Nice. Thank you, Rekieta, for your contributions. Now, the other Nick is up to no good as well. Even I, the doomer boomer himself, has taken a Oh my god. I fucked up this entire. I have to restart the stream chat. Or I have to take this from the beginning. I forgot the background. I fucked it up again. I left it on the Gumroad video. And I left it on the entire. It's fucking ruined. It's fucking ruined. I'm deleting the footage. It's all wrong. It's all wrong, chat. Cool. Okay, yeah, we're Fuentes, sorry. Completely my brain fried. Nick, Alish J, Fu, Intez. His response to the UK race war is a little bit weird. He comes out and he says on Zitter, another wave of astroturfed anti-Muslim sentiment right before the Muslim false flags that bring us to war against Iran and ISIS. Textbook. My prediction, 0 deportations, 2 more wars for Israel. And then he went on Telegram and reiterated this. October 7th, false flag. Frat bro uprising, false flag. Iranian president death, false flag. Trump assassination, false flag. Golan Heights attack, false flag. Anti-Muslim UK riots, totally organic. And this has a massive ratio of 1,000 to 280 in terms of likes to dislikes to likes on his own post, which is enormous. Like, Nick's people are usually gimps, and they would just agree to whatever. I think, I honestly don't know what he's going for. What is it with the right and simping for Muslims? I guess they think that the pedophile thing is really base. They're like, damn, I wish I could fuck a 9-year-old. Maybe I'm going to convert to Islam. Allah Akbar. I'm not joking here. I'm going to convert to Islam. What do you mean you got 9-year-olds? Not only 9-year-olds, but 72 9-year-olds? Oh my God. That's a dream come true for the cat boys. So, I just don't fucking get it. The other thing is that apparently the riots are being blamed on Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson was arrested, and then he fled the country. He's currently in Cyprus. And I don't think Cyprus has an extradition treaty with the UK, or it doesn't for matters of speech. So he's just kind of chilling out in the glorious Mediterranean, soaking in the sun, getting all that vitamin D you can't get in the UK. And they're just kind of blaming it on him. But then the right doesn't like him either, because I think he's Jewish, or he's at least very pro-Israel. So even Nigel Farage has denounced Tommy Robinson, and then the far right, the actual far right, like Nick Fuentes, is apparently not keen on him either. So I don't know the nitty gritty of this, but I don't know how you can look at things like the boomers just saying we don't want any more immigrants and be like, that's a bad thing. I don't support that. I want the government to crush them. Like, whose side are you on, Nicholas? Who are you rooting for? The guys that worship a pedophile, or the progenitors of American culture? I don't like English, obviously, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to look at this and be like, well, they're in the wrong. Kind of stupid, I think. Finally, this is a Mad at the Internet stream, so there is an obligatory topic that I must touch on whenever possible. And that is, of course, Ethan Ralph of the Kill Stream. Ethan has had an eventful weekend, capstoned by his adventures to go see his son, Xander. Xander is in San Diego, and that is very far away from the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. So Ethan Ralph is on a bit of an adventure. But before he does that, he wants to imitate the Mad at the Internet stream just a little bit more. His fiber connection got knocked out, so he said, fuck it, and he went and got a Starlink. So Ethan went out and bought a Starlink. He bought a cheap one, though. He didn't get a business dishy. He didn't get the business connection. He got the basic bitch connection, which apparently you can get at a discount in Mexico. You get different prices for your plan there. So he got the basic bitch Starlink, and is like, look, I'm just like that Josh Moon. I got connected to the internet by a satellite. I love you, Elon Musk. I love you so much. And then to 170 people watching him unbox that dishy. That's why you got the basic one. Sorry, that's smug. I'm smug posting. But that's the least of his worries. Okay. He has a real mission. Setting up a Starlink is just the bottom. It's just the baseline of what he's trying to accomplish. Well, what he's trying to accomplish is to see his son. And nothing, and I mean nothing, is going to get in the way of Ethan Ralph seeing Xander. Except his own sobriety, perhaps. Because he gets to Mexico, and then he says, I will never fly Aero Mexico again, nor use the main airport Benito Juarez in Mexico City ever again. I'm filing a charge back against these thieves, and we'll see where it goes. Maybe nowhere, but I'm doing it anyway. And he continues, these airport faggot act like they're the fucking police. Post wrong times for flight, then blame it on you and don't let you board the second flight for no reason. Flashlight cops was the term. They're the power-hungry fags and they're racist too. Fuck them all. At Aero Mexico. Aero Mexico replies and says, hello, please share more information. I can't do Mexican. How am I going to return to the U.S. if I can't do a racist Mexican accent? Chat. Hello. Please, I have to look myself in the mirror and do this. Please share more information with us via DM so we can help you. To which Ralph replies and says, you left me stranded and missed my first visit with my son, which is the only reason I came. Then told me to call customer service in the middle of a customer service center. I ripped up the second ticket and I told the guy to suck my dick and threw it in his face. Literally. U.S. flag. Oh, and now you care because my racism allegation? You absolutely were racist. There's a lovely picture, I think, right below this. Oh, wait, there's more. Viva Aerobus, who I used to criticize, have never had the gall to treat me like Aero Mexico. I missed a flight with my son that I paid for, by the way, complete, but it's beside the point. So these fleshlight cops... Bro, your autocorrect is getting kind of sussy, Ralph. These fleshlight cops can try 2.B dominate. I have gotten arrested for what I said back to them in the U.S., so small Mexico victory. I guess he said he was going to kill them or something. So based off his adequacy at typing, I'm going to assume that he's not completely sober. And then there's a little thing. This is me making fun of him for being incompetent. The little thing. There it is. Ah, bam. Beautiful. And Interest says, I missed my flight because I'm a sloppy drunk and you won't pay for a rebooking. Give me the manager, you racist. This is probably more accurate than Ralph's recount, but I don't think he would admit that. That doesn't sound as badass. So Ethan Ralph, on a clandestine journey to visit his son, unable to be dissuaded. Where the fuck is the next one? Fuck, I'm gonna have to scan. I thought I picked this up and I fucked it up. Thank God. Oh, sorry. Should I read my own post? Oh no, wait. This is below the actual alert, by the way. He said that he was in. Oh wait, here. Okay, so he was stuck in Tijuana, and he eventually did get to see his son, Xander. But he arrived more than an hour late. He said he had a shortened visit with Xander, 65 minutes instead of 2 hours. I was late because I basically had to use Mexican coyotes to help me skip the longer line. Wonderful visit, though. And he actually called me daddy this time, which made me tear up. No confirmations. So he saw his son and cried. And that's he's alleging that he, as an American citizen, had to use illegal trafficking people to get across the border expeditiously, which is just preposterous. So I will read you my fanfic from the fanfic forums. You ready? So there I was. The grandfather of my son, Xander, had called in the hit. Aero Mexico was on the lookout, and the second they saw me, they had cooked up any old excuse to boot me off the plane. Tom was working against me. A staggering 4 to 5 minute drive to San Diego. I had to think fast on how to cross the border. Stumbling from the airport, I solicited the greasiest wetbacks I could find in the area for help. They warned me the trip was fraught with dangers. The border was locked up tighter than a Catholic chica's chastity belt. They wanted mucho dinero, but luckily I was internet famous with hundreds of thousands of dollars to my name, which they had heard of. 3 of the men died on the way, one to thirst, the other to moat gators, the third to a border guard sniper. The last didn't care. He was MS-13 and knew the fewer men meant a bigger share of my American dollarinos. Me and the hombre, I didn't have time to learn his name, being in such a hurry, parted ways. He told me he was a big fan of the kill stream and he wished me luck fighting the American family court system. I nodded at him in the understanding way only 2 men can. I arrived there a mere 115 minutes late, caked in dirt and sweat. They were already getting to leave, and I told that bitch to shit the fuck down because I was getting my 5 minutes. There he was, Xander. I hugged him and I told him, I love you, son. He looked at me and cried, tears of joy. Thankfully, the trip back was much less perilous. I had arrived with only the bare essentials. My man purse had my phone, wallet, cash, and credit, and my American passport. I flew American the way back to the Yucatan. Another great day to be a Ralph now. Then everybody clapped. Bravo, bravissimo. The things that Ethan Ralph does to see his son. That's true dedication. What a real man. Everyone knows that a real man knocks up a BPD whore who gets sent to a mental hospital after fucking you. And then you see your son for approximately 55 minutes every 3 months. Because you're too much of a fuck up, lush, pill popping, junkie piece of shit to make a fucking flight. You know how the flight from Yucatan to San Diego, what is that, like a 6-hour flight tops? Can't do it. So he's made it back. He's showing off the claw. Check out my claw. I got 5 fingers still. I know it's impressive, having dug my way through the tunnels, underground the border fence to get to my son Xander. But I did manage to keep on my fingies. He's moving to Tijuana now. And you might be thinking, isn't Tijuana one of the most dangerous cities in the entire world? Yes, it is. It is one of the most dangerous cities in the entire world. Yes. American tourists do get decapitated there. Yes, that happens. However, Ralph, of course, is a top dog, and he is going to live in the city center, the most expensive area, where it's safe for white people. That's his stated plan. I, of course, wish Mr. Ralph luck in reuniting with his son. And that's the Ralph segment. Next, the Reddit segment. But Josh, you think, this is not the Reddit segment. What are you doing? This is a True Blue news article about a anti-Christian Reddit group which falsely reported a family to Christian service or child services. And DeSantis, my governor, says that will not stand. So I'm just going to read you the Reddit post in this news article. So this is in Fundy Snark Uncensored. So when you see snark in a subreddit, that means that they're the Kiwi Farms. And when you see uncensored in the subreddit name, Snark Uncensored, that means that they're the Kiwi Farms, but they allow you to just outright harass and fuck with people endlessly. That's what that means. So Reddit consistently has subreddits entirely dedicated to just fucking with somebody. Like, unabashedly, yeah, I'm going to go call social services, I'm going to call the police, I DoorDash this guy's shit, just so on and so forth. And then we are the ones that catch all the flack while Reddit profits immensely off of this, just as a recap. This is Time Tonight 3631 saying, I've identified their current location and I'm reporting to Florida Abuse Hotline. Imaginary Cow says, you are a saint. I was really hoping someone would do this. These are all heavily upvoted, by the way. I sincerely hope something is done. My hopes aren't that high, but this makes me sick to watch. I don't want to accidentally dox a newborn, but if anyone else wants to report, DM me. I'll send you their current location. What pissed them off? It's a self-described group criticizing fundamentalist Christianity. There are 8 kids that were camping. Okay, I really wish that. Let's see. Let's continue reading, chat. Let's see. This woman is fucked in the head. Does anyone know where they are currently parked? Can someone compile a list and photo and video evidence of neglect and forward it to the police and CPS? I have no idea where these motherfuckers are, but if they think the big bet government is scary, I am all for confirming their delusions on that. 55 upvotes. I know exactly where they are. I spoke to someone making a report and told basically nothing would happen as the children seem clean and well fed. The system is just overloaded with cases so much more egregious than this, but every day that passes I'm chewing my nails because these children just seem neglected. I hate it. I feel so hopeless. A random person on the internet making a report will do nothing. I witnessed the neglect and abuse of a child 2 years old. My next door neighbor while I was living in Florida. What these morons do doesn't rise to the level of endangerment with regular social services. What are they doing, though? I would happily participate in that. This is fucking disgusting. She knows exactly what she's doing, too. When DCF contacted the family, it quoted verbatim a comment on one of the family photos as the basis for the investigation, even using the same terms of jaundice, lethargy, and sunburn, according to a synopsis of the Family Freedom Protection Project. So were they like just camping? It was just like a large Christian family camping, and because they looked tanned, because they were outside in the sunlight, the Fundy Snark subreddit was like, fuck these people, let's report them. Let me read the intro paragraphs, because I might have missed something. A Christian family camping in Florida was the target of false reports. So that's what it was. They were just camping. Their story began a few weeks after Brittany gave birth to their 8th daughter. Florida's Voice reported Brittany told the outlet she received a message online claiming that her child was suffering from severe jaundice, severe sunburn, and lethargy. Brittany deleted the message and blocked the sender. So she gave birth while camping, I guess. She had like a natural birth, and they said, "Oh, that's abuse." Let's hear more from, I guess, the Christian Snark subreddit. These pro-life types sure seem to do everything they can to endanger their child's life, says a black person. Most of the time, Father Susbus is on the run trying to avoid his family. Suddenly he's involved in participating in their stupid reels. Guess we'll know what his fetish is. Her mouth looks like a butthole. Suits her because she opens her mouth and shit spews out. The wrinkles around her lips make her look like a 20-year pack-a-day smoker. Or maybe she just makes the cat butt face too often. If she has lines around her lips like that, she probably just has sun damage to her skin, because apparently they're campers. So, yeah, that's how you get wrinkles. I hate this reality so much. They took my report and asked lots of questions at least. I get it, but I hate it. They're upset that the government isn't going to crush these people for camping. Dude, Redditors, you cannot hate Redditors enough. I already read that one. Is there not a way to report them to CPS? At what point do people get out their triangulation skills and present the police with the shit that has been going down in that bus and relentlessly report every single time they stop? I know that is against the rules and would not advocate for it, but probably goddamn, those kids are going to be permanently traumatized from this upbringing. This is child abuse. I don't get it. I really don't understand what they're so upset about. So because I know exactly where they are, I looked at the Making report. Unofficially, I showed this and many other videos to someone who would have, had we been in a professional setting and not hanging out in the ball field, taken said report. She said basically nothing would happen. Kids seem happy, clean, and well-fed. Parents do occasionally post about schooling, so they would probably be able to prove to DFAC's satisfaction that the kids were being educated. They have so many wildly egregious cases on their books. So they literally, it's just a family of 8, and including a newborn, living out of a camper van, camping continuously, and they do education out of the van. And that's what they're upset about. I don't understand. It's definitely sunburn, unfortunately. She's had him at the beach all week and his face directly in the sun. I thought it was neglectful to have him at the beach. I figured he'd be okay. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy that these people who are childless mongoloid Redditors think that they can look at any family that exists and make determinations about if kids are being raised right and if that lifestyle, like they don't agree with the lifestyle, so they're just like, I hope the government takes them away. Like their hope is that the state of Florida will take random children away that are happy, healthy, fed, and educated because they live out of a camper van and place them in the custody of random Floridians, taking Floridians at fucking random and assigning them each one of the 8 children because they disagree with that lifestyle. Dude. Ooh, I like this comment. Let me find it on my thing. Damn, bam. Being different will always be illegal to them. That's it. Look up pictures of the size of the camper van they sleep in. Okay. Let's see what we got here. JD and Brittany Lott, 2 military veterans from Texas. Is it a TikTok? What am I looking for here? American Family Road Trip. Well, that sounds exactly correct. Am I going to be able to see anything? Because, no. Dude, they have a huge van. Look at that fucking van. That's like one of those really, really, really expensive vans. Live in a bus and trail. I wish I could view the videos. Maybe they have a, oh, they do have an Instagram. Let's see. Maybe if I try the Instagram, I'll be able to view them. Bro, these people are so white. This is why they hate them. It's 8 white kids. I thought when I saw 2 American veterans, I thought, oh man, it's probably mutts. Bro. Shit, how do I show? Maybe if I put in the URL directly. It'll let me show that. It won't let me show you the profile because I'm using a privacy-oriented browser. Yeah, dude, God, I hate Instagram so fucking much. It's so bad. Like, I just want to show you a fucking video. But both TikTok and Instagram are like, no, you're using a browser that we don't like, and you're using a VPN. No, you have to give us your IP, and you have to let us fingerprint your browser. No. Shit. And does Bibliogram not work at all still? Maybe if I put in Bibliogram, it'll fucking work. I think Bibliogram's just fucking busted these days. Yeah, it's just broken. God, it's so fucking annoying. Okay, if you just go to American Family Road Trip, maybe if I'll just take a screenshot. Hold up. I think that'll be our best bet here. I don't know where the print screen button is on my fucking... Bro, I can't catch a break. Okay, here, I got you. There, bam. Behold, the whiteness. Do you see these white people? Are they standing on a beach? This enrages me. Why do they live differently than me? They should be in public education learning about the Holocaust. They should be learning about transgenders. They should be learning about transgender feminine penis. Why are they doing this? Why do they hate? Why are they so filled with hate? Explain this, Chad. Explain this. Oh my god, this family is white as shit. Dude, I'm telling you, this is white as fuck. That's why they're angry. If this was like a mixed race, when I saw 2 veterans from Texas, I'm like, bro, these are going to be mixed as fuck. No siree. Let's try to find a picture of just the inside of the van. Bro, I don't know the inside, but let me do this. Like, you see how big that van is? And they're trying to say that that's like don't get me wrong, a van's a van, but it's not like a tiny van. It's like a full-size school bus or something. It's literally as big as a fucking van can be, is what I'm trying to say. How dare you? Okay, that's it. Fuck Reddit, is what I'm trying to say. Let's close this out, chat. I got places to be, shit to do. You know how I am, a busy boy. Like I said, if you're interested in the Dark Side Field pay thing, that is at, I think, it should be an hour after this stream ends, I think. Otherwise I don't know. Aside from that, I do not have any other things to know. I did the Smash and Slam dog thing this weekend. I have a movie review that I want to do for this weekend. Like I said, I'm going to catch up on all the Gumroad videos. I'm going to bust out 3 or 4 a month until I'm all caught up. I will catch up, chat. I will catch up. Mark my words. Oh, wait, hold up. I see them. I'm going to click your message. Pay. Let me find it. Josh, tell me what to do with DSP. Save me, Daddy Jersh. Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, the thing is with DSP is that he's very easily spooked. So if you press him too hard on anything, he will probably just leave. It really, I don't know. There was the interview. You should watch that interview that he gave with, I don't remember his name. Someone in chat tell him. There was one other interview that DSP gave out in any recent memory where he was talking about his bankruptcy with that guy that has that pretty boy filter. He has like a perfectly bald head and he talks about video games and he has like a ridiculously pretty boy Instagram filter on his face. The Side Scrollers podcast, that's it. Stuttering Craig did an interview with DSP. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. And they talked about the bankruptcy and he didn't leave that interview. So I don't know if you want to look at that and see if maybe you can kind of understand that level of temperature that you can keep him at before he leaves. It really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to shoot the shit with DSP, I think people will be angry that you don't press him hard. But what are you going to press him on? He's not like any shenanigans at the moment. The only thing that you could possibly try and grill him on is the WWE gotcha game stuff. But I think that if you talk to him about that, he'll just immediately be pissed because he hates those rumors that he spends money on that game because he tells people that he spends it on taxes and other necessities. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of figured you had a plan about what you were going to ask because you've been finagling at this for a month now. So if you don't know what you're doing, I don't know what you're doing either, bro. It's like a dog chasing cars. I don't know what I would do if I caught it. Okay. I think that's it. Now I can do the clickety clicks on the big super chat messages. Right? Oh my god, it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work on the super chats? Explain this. Bro, I've fucking bamboozled myself. Okay, he says that he has a plan. I got you. I trust in the plan. Trust in the plan, chat. Alright. Blurp Bloop for 2 says Black Pill did a good stream about advertisers called Impressions a few days ago. I've never seen a more total advertiser death. I've never been more total advertiser death. Advertising should be completely illegal. Black Pilled is pretty good. I might actually seek that out. That seems enticing. Black Pilled did a stream called Impressions. Okay, I will watch. It is just about advertising. All modern advertising is is getting you to know the name, recognize, and like on the radio even. You know how all these big companies have jingles now where they do like the little sound, like the Captain Morgan, do, and like you just hear that sound and you think alcohol, coconut rum. It's like that. They want to fucking reprogram your brain so that ba da ba 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 is like, oh my god, I know. I do that little jingle and you're like, oh my god, I know exactly what that is. I want a McDouble right now. It's fucking brainwashing. And if they can do it for a hamburger, they can do it for immigration, they can do it for all sorts of things. Advertising is fucking evil, for real. Blurp Bloop for 2 says, have you tried any Georgian khachapuri, either in Ukraine or Serbia? The flatbread ones are great. The egg ones are overkill. Georgian food is the best food in Eurasia. No, I've never had khachapuri. I know I'm missing out. I had harcho soup. Harcho, it's like a plum sauce soup. Harcho soup, hands down, one of the greatest, one of the goats of all fucking time. Harcho soup is so filling, so delicious, so spiced. It is absolute culinary perfection. I love soups in general, but harcho is amazing. And kankali is one of the best dumplings I've ever fucking had. Kankali is a dumpling that is so rich in juice that when you bite it, you have to kind of like tilt it back and drink the juice out of the dumpling. And dumplings are a form of absolute perfection. There's a reason why dumplings exist in every culinary culture around the world, because they are one of the best ways to cook any kind of food. You have the doornail dumplings in China. You have regular you have like ravioli. Ravioli is a form of dumpling. That's why ravioli is so fucking good. Hot Pockets. You know why Hot Pockets are so good? You got a bread outside, meat inside. The fat stays in, the juice stays on. So good. Sorry, I'm thinking about food now. I have a prediction that at some point, Georgian food is like an undiscovered gem. Georgian food is some of the best fucking food that exists on the planet Earth. And when people find out how fucking good Georgian food is, it'll become a meme, like Vietnamese food. Like pho or pho is like everywhere right now. When motherfuckers figure out what harcho is and kankali, bro, there's going to be Georgian food places all over the place. Mark, I'm telling you, it's coming. Debugs for 2. It says Catbox file. Bro, come on now. I am getting hungry. Pierogies. Yeah, pierogies are good. I'm telling you, dumplings are like a pinnacle food. Soup is a pinnacle food. Dumplings are a pinnacle food. These are the height of human civilization. Pizza too. Oh, I did have ketchup here. It was like garlic bread ketchup. It was just cheese and bread. It was not fancy. I cannot get your fucking Catbox file open, bro. Sorry. I don't know what that is. Rich Wet Pasta for 19 says, hey Josh, guess what? I have no idea, bro. I couldn't even guess. Is it chicken butt? Laserdisc Spinman for 3 says, what do you think about the talk of the British extraditing foreigners like Americans based off the riots? It sounds like horse shit. Extraditing foreigners like Americans because of the riots. I don't know. Oh, you mean from the United States? Good luck. The United States has an explicit law. The United States will not honor any court judgment, criminal or civil, in the United States if it's speech related. If the speech would pass as free speech in the United States, it would not allow you to be extradited, or and the U.S. government will not enforce any kind of judgment in the U.S. It's called the Protect Speech Act, and it exists because of the UK. The UK is what's called it's like a litigation tourism country. It has such Byzantine, horrific fucking laws, but it still has like a lot of international reach. So companies and people will come to the UK, especially because of those fucking private lawsuits. Like if you're rich enough, you can buy a courtroom and a judge and just litigate yourself. And it's a fucking nightmare. So people will come to the UK, litigate at your expense, and then try to enforce it in other countries. And a lot of other countries will honor those. The US says, go fuck yourself. When the litigation tourism thing happened in the UK and they tried to enforce it in the US, Congress passed the Protect Speech Act. So any kind of bullshit like that is not going to fly. Theoretically, it shouldn't, at least. Laser Disc Spinman for 3 says, oh, I read that. Le Pigeon for 1 says, Pimpy Son Up. I already read that, but thank you. Holy Hal for 5 says, hope you're having a good day, Josh. You are my nibba always. Thank you, Holy Hal. I appreciate it as always. Pissed Peach for 1 says, hello, dear feeder. I can't donate much, but thank you for your consistent fight against retards trying to make a genuine lowercase I internet. Mr. Beast is a pedophile TTD. I don't know if Mr. Beast is a pedophile, but he's really pissed off that pedophile fucked up his whole shindig. He's really pissed off that he's about to lose that Amazon deal. I don't know. You should have dumped him when you saw that he was a fucking tranny. You knew what was going to happen. Let this be a warning to anyone who associates with these fucking trannies. You know they're bad people. You know every single one of them is fucked in the head. You don't try to cut off your dick and balls and walk around in a dress and be tee-hee, skirt goes spinny as a grown-ass fucking man. Because remember, it's funny to think of them as these effeminate little fairies running around in a dress. They are grown fucking men. Think of yourself in a dress. That is exactly what a tranny is. Think of a burly man in a dress. That's what a tranny is. They're not some third gender. They're not like an in-between. They are adult men. And if they're walking around in a fucking dress, there is something wrong with them. Their brain is fundamentally broken, and any willful association with someone like that is a surefire. Like it's they might as well if they literally dress in a fucking red flag, it would not be any more blatant. And anyone who chooses to do this because of DEI points or whatever the fuck or whatever woke point you're going for, you're setting yourself up for a fall, and you deserve it. Mr. Beast deserves it. He can eat shit. David S877 for 25 says, I was wondering if you have seen this movie and your thoughts. Otherwise, what are your thoughts based off the trailer? Okay. Let's see. I can't watch the trailer on the stream, bro. It'll get struck. I'll watch like 10 seconds of it.
Bill Foster is an ordinary man.
Where you going?
Going home.
Not this way, you're not.
Why not?
Metro rail construction, that's why not.
Living in the everyday world.
I don't suppose you have a couple of bucks you can give me. It would really help me out. If you give me your address, I'll mail it back, honest.
A patient man.
Can I help you?
Yes, I'd like a ham and cheese omelet or wham fries.
I'm sorry.
We stop serving breakfast at 11:30.
Who's running out of patience.
I get some change.
I will end it there, because I'm going to get struck, for real. You can't play, like, movie footage and shit. All I know is that that's a lot of white people causing problems, and that's not how things work in my experience. I don't know. I can't give a more detailed opinion than that. Drewby82 for 2 says, evening, Josh, do you prefer waffles or pancakes for breakfast? It really depends. I like both of them. They're basically the same fucking thing. I'm kind of, I don't know. I like to eat waffles in that really autistic way, where you fill up every single one of the little cups and then you cut it mathematically, like based off the squares. That's fun. I don't know. Nothing really beats like a stack of pancakes with some butter pancakes. That's the good stuff. Anime Sucks, Cope, and Sneed for 5 says, show this on stream and critique it, please. Also, where's my true and honest DM sent Joe? I don't know, bro. Bro, that's weird. I'm not showing that. I'm not going to start showing... Anime Sex Cope... you know what, I will, just so I can explain why I'm not going to show anything like this ever again. Anime Sex Cope and Sneed is like... He like works out. And this is the guy that really wants to fuck fat dragons that fart. He's like super sexually attracted to Chantal and Amberlin, which is just disgusting. So this guy is like insane. I don't know how else to put it. He's an insane furry that wants to fuck fat chicks, despite being buff. I think he can get Chantal. I think if he says, "Hey Chantal, let's hook up," I think that she would dump Salah because he's fit. He's like a trophy boy. I don't know, crazy motherfucker. I really. He's also very disruptive on the forum. I'm just gonna say that he keeps like sending DMs to random staff members and posting and talk to staff. He's made like 5 different threads. I'm like, bro, chill the fuck out. What are you doing? Cold for 6 says, please read 4 to 6 in the Book of Enoch. Oh, my usual suspects are all lining up. 426. Then departing from him, I spoke to them all together, and they all became terrified and trembled, beseeching me to write for them a memorial of supplication that they might obtain forgiveness, and that I might make the memorial of their prayer ascend up before the God of heaven, because they could not themselves thenceforward address him, nor raise up their eyes to heaven on account of the disgraceful offense for which they were judged. It's kind of hard to figure out what's happening when I only read like one sentence at a time. There you go. Skinny Puss for one says, don't you love all the cringe Star Wars references in Vicky 3? I haven't played it enough. I don't know Star Wars well enough, and I haven't played enough Victoria 3 to see all those references. Oh, I know that there is there's like an event that quotes the "so this is how democracy dies" thing, because you change government forms in the game. I don't know. Paradox. Paradox has always had cheeky references to stupid shit like that. Sheskis 2 for 2 says Sargon's Romanian buddy V is making a hentai porn game, all while he and his wife just had a son. What could possibly go wrong? Literally everything. That's fucking gross. Blurp Bloop for 1 says 14x Grinch. Well, congrats on your structure, bro. Kurt Eichenwald, anime masturbator for 20 says glorious Kiwi Emperor, I have finally debunked all your anime tanks with a new logical fallacy. Argumentum ad womenum. And there's a YouTube link. This is a link to the lawsuit that may topple the trans movement from Ali Beth Stuckey. I will listen to how much? I will listen to 20 seconds of this.
Typically, people who identify as transgender, either male or female, there is in their past some kind of heavy involvement in anime. What do you think that is? I mean, we've kind of looked at it on this show, but why do you think there seems to be a tie there?
Well, I will answer this question for her. The reason why there is a direct link between anime and trannies, or tranime, as it's sometimes referred to, is that the Japanese live a miserable existence. They are workaholics. They have very little self-identity. And they indulge in some of the most extreme forms of escapism, or escapism, because people get upset when I say escapism, even though that's how it's fucking pronounced, that the world has ever seen. And the white pigu brain cannot handle that. And when you are someone who's so sucked into escapism like that, you can indulge other forms of cognitive dissonance, and you can indulge wanting to be a woman. And I think there's also a thing that is less of a trope and more of like a ubiquitous definition to what anime is. Like anime typically is defined by like the eye being really weird and like a specific drawn style drawn from Japan or whatever. That's like the anime style. But there's like a trope that's so pervasive in anime that it effectively defines the genre as a whole. And that is projecting male interest onto women. Main characters in anime, for whatever reason, are almost always a type of woman that exists solely to exemplify traits that would typically belong to a man or be interesting to a man. And as a result, you create this caricature of women that don't really exist because women are different from men and they do different things than men most of the time. So if you're a guy and you indulge in this escapist fantasy and you watch all these shows that have these male women in them that are just women designed to appeal to men as much as possible, both sexually, physically, and also in their behaviors and interests and capabilities, you're going to get a really warped perspective of what a woman is. And when you realize that that doesn't exist, I think that to a lot of guys, they just think, oh, I will become that ideal woman. That ideal woman who's like a geeky tomboy programmer, I can be that with the right hormone, with the right dress and the spinniest skirt that I can get off Amazon. I can be her. And then I'll live that Yuri lesbian fantasy that I masturbate to 1,000 times a day. I think that's a part of it. Cool. Docs Found for 5 says, if I'm going to spend $5 a month, should I spend it on Rumble subscription or Gumroad? Gumroad. I mean, you can do both. There's no harm in that. I don't know. Like, it's hard. Like, I know you can subscribe on different, like on Rumble is the only one right now. I'm not sure if there's any. I guess you get certain emojis and stuff, and your name is like highlighted in chat. That's basically the reward for the Rumble subscription. Maybe I can do something with that in the future. Blurp Bloop for 1 says, Blood Skull son Gucci. Dude, Blood Skull's fucking dead. And the guys that made Blood Skull have like disappeared. Space Allen for 20 says, Ham Jam. Thank you, Space Allen. I appreciate it. Eugelis Sneed for 10 says, why are you making the streams better instead of just getting wasted every night? I'm glad you think the streams are getting better, bro. I don't know. Maybe on my decline, I'll just start drinking. If I ever start drinking on stream, you know that it's over. Thank you. Lucifer 210 for 1 says, I was stuck in jury duty, and I was stuck between a 6-foot-tall ogre in a dress and a little dude. America is fucked. Hopefully an economic crash and a spilling blood for glorious Israel will fix this. We can only hope. We can only hope that we'll have the opportunity to die for Israel, the greatest ally that we've ever had. Eugelis Sneed for 5 says, the UK has fallen. I pray the Patriots win against the invaders. That would be nice, wouldn't it? We can dream. Gormless Wanderer for 1 says, I never had Old Bay in my life, so based on your recommendation, I just ate Old Bay clam chowder. It was pretty good. I'm not a big chowder person, but I think the Bay helped it. Congratulations, Bay convert. You're now able to move to the Atlantic northeast of the United States. Real Adonai for 15 says, hey Josh, what did the mayor of New Orleans mean by this? And then he links to a YouTube video. Let's see what he means by that.
We as black people, it's time. It's time for us to come together.
Why do black people do that? A black person, like they all try to talk like Martin Luther King. I have a dream that FEMA will give me that trailer. And then when they say that, like they say, I have a dream, some black guy in the audience just goes, that's right. Speak your truth. Black people are weird.
It's time for us to rebuild a New Orleans, the one that should be a chocolate New Orleans. And I don't care what people are saying uptown or wherever they are. This city will be chocolate at the end of the day. This city will be a majority African American city. It's the way God wants it to be. You can't have New Orleans no other way. It wouldn't be New Orleans.
It's part of our... Hey, brother. Tell me about, tell me how that working out with, St. George. Where the fuck is this? St. George. I think I talked about this on stream where, in Baton Rouge, St. George seceded from... the town of Baton Rouge, and now their white tax base is out of the tax area. Sucks to suck, I guess. Okay. Haramburger for 2 says, yo, smash the butt on that slam dog, butt dog available to stud, taking reservations now, starting 10K, 2x fentanyl, 3x cum sneeze. I missed him so much I cloned him twice. Thanks, Haramburger. Good luck with your smashing and slamming, bro. Sneedapus, for 1, says, if someone takes a shit in the kitchen, does it make it food? Same thing with immigrants claiming they are native. That's pretty fucking gross. I don't want to think about that. Probably not, though. Devious to be for 2 says, sup. Nothing much, Devious to be. Thank you. Blurp Bloop, for 1, says, we have our own problems and own problem people. Why should we take in foreign ones? Fuck them. Fuck gay moralizing liberals and their canned bullshit arguments. It's called tax income, sweaty. Haramburger for 2 says, sweep up all the bomb schematics, Jan. Remind the Brit posters that all ordnance posters go where they belong on Mumsnet. Cheerio, Tips Hat. Don't bring Mumsnet into this. They don't need any bomb instructions. Lucifero for 1 says, forget modern gaming. Only emulation is worth it these days. It feels like it. Though, as much as I want to play RuneScape, it's like, I don't want to give money to Jagex, so they're fucking gay, and they keep sucking tranny dick. Tetrabax for 50 says, if you haven't played Outer Wilds, not Outer Worlds, you should try it. Smart exploration and puzzle solver for a good price. not sure what I want to get into at all, though. I'm just not sure. I tried opening up RuneScape and playing, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't feel like it. So I don't know what I want. I want to be productive is what I want. I don't want to play games. Thank you, though. Unkind Acer for 5 says, you should buy Fur Affinity, properly monetize it, and use it to fund the Kiwi farms. That sounds like more drama and bullshit than even I can handle. I'm going to be real with you. You have to genuinely love gooning to weird furry vor art or something to do Fur Affinity. Aryan Queen Generator for 5 says, Josh, considering most everyone who has ever lived disagrees with your take about women having rights, doesn't that mean you are a sucker who will never breed? Women will return to their place. I am a pragmatic person. And right now, women do have the right to vote. And chances are that whatever you want to do is going to have to be done with the consent of women. So therefore, if you want to accomplish things, you must take in our reality and you must work within it. Because if you're an idealist, even if you're 100% correct, which I'm not saying, but even if you are 100% correct, if you are trying to accomplish a utopia without considering where we are now and what our reality is, you'll never accomplish that. It's called realpolitik. And yes, it's German. The Lion King, for one, says, welcome to the furry fandom. Do you want to be a gun nut or a sex offender? Where I'm from, you can be both. I don't know. Maybe we just do a little bit differently in Florida. Tis the Happy, for 20, says, got an Xbox 360 a bit ago. I can't go back to modern games. Seems like you found your happy place, bro. Imagine all those games on disc that still work even 20 years later. Imagine. All these games that were made in the 2010s are just going to be gone forever. You remember Brink, that shooter game? Gone. You'll never get to play it again. How many other games are going to be like that? How many MMORPGs are just going to fizzle out of existence that nobody has a copy of? There's going to be so many games that people remember playing this generation that they can never play again. I can boot up Kirby Superstar on the BU emulator anytime I want to and play it all day. These kids, they're fucked, though. Their dreams will just be memories. They couldn't even prove if it was real or not. Thank you. Eugelis Sneed for 2 says, Medicare is losing that fight. He's got lazy bones. I don't know. I think Medicare has an unfair advantage in that he has an exoskeleton with crippling wheels of death. I think that he got it. Generic username and password for 1 says, Rip Game Informer, I'll always remember you as the magazine I ignored but had to buy to get discounts on used games at GameStop. I was more of a Nintendo Power kid myself. I didn't have any game subscriptions, but my friend had like Nintendo everything. And the Nintendo Power was really cool as a kid. I don't know why. It was just sort of like, wow, this whole thing's like dedicated to video games and shit I care about? That's fucking crazy, bro. So I'd flip through it if I had time to kill at his house. The false copy of Sunder, for 1, says, talking about long payoffs for good things the site has done, aren't you directly linked to getting animal abuse legislation passed in like Malaysia or somewhere, some zoo sadists who got exposed? That was Wolf, and that was in Cuba. The animal rights people were petitioning for a constitutional amendment to protect animal, the sanctity of life of animals. And I don't know if that got passed or not, but part of the reason why Wolf got done in so fucking bad is that animal rights stuff was happening at the time that he got exposed, I think. It was like a concurrent thing. So they came down fucking hard on him. I suspect. Nobody really knows what happened to him. Eugelis Sneed, for 1, says, but where's the evidence? The evidence is in the exhibits. The exhibit dance. TP Deluxe for 2 says, 7 years. It was 7 years ago today. He turned himself into a pickle, Josh, a pickle. Funniest thing I've ever seen. Thankfully, I was outside the country during the pickling when the Pickle Ricks rose TF up and got their Szechuan sauce at McDonald's. The Lion King, for 1, says, B-Jams. Thank you. Chloe Dante, 15, says, DSP spent so much money on WWE champions because the loot boxes weren't giving him his favorite wrestler, Horse John. I mean, I can't blame him, bro. If you gotta dump 100K in to get Horse John, you gotta dump 100K in. That's just how it is. Horse John got the chair. Debugs, for 1, says, Hey, Noel, since people were Soprano posting in the Mandy thread, have you ever watched The Sopranos? Would be a good gumroad. I have never watched The Sopranos. I don't even know what it's about, to be honest with you. I don't even know if it's a TV show or a movie. I have no idea what The Sopranos are. I think it's about like a... I've never watched the Goodfella trilogy either. I have no input on Italian mobs. I'm done a great dishonor to my Naples bloodline. 11th Circuit for 2 says, I read a trip report on Arrowwood, i.e. people reporting experiences taking different substances, where a guy ate morning glory seeds, met a dog man, and became temporarily gay. Avoid morning glory seeds. I think that's advice to live by. If you take morning glory, you will fuck a dog and be gay. That would suck. Yuga Listeed for 1 says, the LGBTs glow at night. You can hit them with your car. That's good to know. I'll keep my eyes out. The Lion King for 2 says, DSPs, LGB lights, and then he links to a YouTube video, but he knows the rules. Haramburger for 2 says, my son kept yelling about the chicken dinners and tea bags. I'm going to buy him a computer with all the LGBT LEDs so he can Fortnite to the max. Chad Dad rattling his newspaper, smiling with pipe. It's true. If you know your kid loves, even if, like, you know, you think about what the boomers think. You know, your kid's super into one thing. He's always on the computer playing Minecraft. Well, certainly he would appreciate a 4090 GTX or whatever the fuck, you know? Sure, why not? Dios mío, la criatura, for 1 says, apologize. And then he links to the 4chan political board. And there is a picture of a very smug-looking British man. Unfortunately, I have nothing good to say until you win. I like winners. Dios mío, la criatura. Tetrabax for 20 says, if you can't master the towers of Hanoi before the age of 12, you might be a retard. I don't know what the fuck that is. Is it like a video game reference? A mathematical game of puzzle. Oh, that's what the official formal name is of the Fox Chicken Grain puzzle is. Well, that's DSP, I guess. Sorry to break it to you. Sneedo, for 1 says, are you going to make an appearance on the DSP casino? No, I will be sleeping, unfortunately. Genocider CO for 5 says, happy pizza day. As far as CPS is concerned, if you refuse a test or release results, you are deemed positive. In the eyes of the court, CPS is better to take a test and be positive than it is to refuse. Wow, I did not know that. I mean, that's kind of unfortunate because it kind of implies your right to innocence is foregone, but I don't know. Infamously, these family courts are pretty fucking brutal. Baldo Peckins for 5 says, to whomever is in the private Discord or wherever Baldo Man is coordinating his gay ops, leak that shit. You could get so much clout if you do. Like 20 clout. At least 20 clout, bro. Maybe even like 30 or 40. You know how clout is these days. Clout's at a premium. No hurt, Mr. Metal for 2 says, came by to throw $2, going to get vored by Terminids from Helldivers soon. I stopped playing that game. I had a niche in Helldivers where I would get the backpack of RPGs and the bazooka, and when the giant bug came up, I would perfectly land the bazooka shot on their fat fucking face and kill it with 1 hit. And then they nerfed it so that you can't kill those in 1 hit with the RPG. And it's like, that was my thing. I don't want to have to hit it twice. I like popping its head with an RPG headshot. Why are you taking this from me? Fuck you. And I stopped playing. A&N did nothing wrong for 5 says, you talked Carl Crasada a few streams back. KF's favorite locale gun tuber Satanism, BS copyright, but also, then there is a Kiwi Farms link. So this is the guy who does in-range TV. Oh God. Is this him? January 2021 Q&A, starting the new year with a tactical girlfriend. He has a really thin neck. If that's him. I imagine it is him because he's wearing a mask. And that's like a way to hide the Adam's apple. That's pretty cringe, bro. Imagine being a fucking tranny. Mr. Manchester for 20 says, if American people are allowed to see the Rekieta trial, then we are once again a free nation. Also, it looks like Spicer, Minnesota has boat rentals and a lot of nice lakes for anyone covering the trial. It's true. Minnesota is the land of 1,000 lakes. I'm pretty sure that is their official tourism name. Yeah, it bodes well for all of us. Big salutes if we get to see the trial. Thank you. Lucifer 210 for one says Fuentes is a Fed faggot simping for Kamala Harris and getting caught in training group chats. Dude, I can't wait to not have to think about him. I have no idea why he's still in the news. Byakni for 5 says, what's new, Iwu crew? Today we're exploring the harrowing tale of how a small American town was terrorized by a woman in a mobility scooter. Now that's a throwback. That's classic. I don't know if Matt the Internet will ever beat the Mobility Mary episodes. Tetrabacks for $300 says, great stream, but suffer streamer. And then there is a YouTube link. So I guess that's, what is that, like, plot? Bro, there's no fucking way. Oh god, it's this guy again. Reaction to Dairy Queen Classic Double Cheeseburger review is DQ selling top tier burgers. Inspector something says, I like the DQ burger. Michael Lambert loved that message and gave it a thumbs up. Says 4 likes. That's a pretty good view to like ratio. So let's see the reaction to the Dairy Queen registered trademark classic double cheeseburger review is Dairy Queen selling top tier burgers. This is a video review by the endorsement.
I can be very persuasive. I
He's
used
very
to put the phone on airplane mode, and I didn't, and that was like 5 straight texts from probably the same person.
He didn't put it. He didn't put it. He didn't put it in airplane mode, chat.
Hot box.
Wait.
A box is hot. I had to wait
Ooh,
like
a hot
10 minutes for
box.
this. It is early in the morning. Maybe early over at Dairy Queen when you order food.
Let's get more reactions to this, chat. I think we need an accessory.
So that's a bag. You know what we do with the bag? Look at that. We got some nice
We need more.
artistic rendering on the
More reactions to
All right,
this.
so this is the classic double.
He sees the classic double and he smiles, chat.
1/3 of a pound of beef.
1/3 of a pound. Wow, face.
Look at this bun.
He's so impressed.
That's a fluffy bun. But if you
It's a fluffy bun. Wow, he
tons
says.
of melted cheese, like I said, I went with
He's just gobsmacked. He can't believe this is reality.
I'm guessing, yeah, pickles. No
He tilts his head to the side to show that he is interested. And then he's shocked.
Wow.
His interest was piqued and then met. His expectations met. He's now like completely incensed by this video.
Smells good. I don't know what I'm doing. All right,
He's surprised that he smells the burger.
stack burger possibly. All right, so this looks good. It smells good. It is piping hot.
I want to see his reaction to the bite.
Had was onions. If I knew it didn't come with onions,
He nods. He nods respectfully in the way that only 2 men can understand. Yeah, I wish it did have onions, bro. The endorsement. I wish it did have onions.
I would have definitely added some. Ketchup and pickles are okay. 2 slices of cheese. There are the 2 patties right there.
Bite it, you fucker.
And
Wow, 2 patties, chat.
I 86th.
He thinks it looks good. He smiles. He smiles, and then is shocked as he opens it.
No mustard on a burger for this guy. I'll eat it if it's a main
No
component,
mustard, chat.
But 5 pickles. Nice. And a decent amount of ketchup. That's going to go all over.
Dude, his face reminds me so much of like the charisma checks in Oblivion, where it's like you hold your mouse over like the intimidate button and then the guy's face goes angry face because he doesn't react well to that. It's like the most bizarre assortment of like 3 or 4 different reactions at like the extreme ends on repeat. It's very bizarre. Wow. Thank you. Eagle's Sneed for one says, I hate getting jerked around by the fleshlight cops. Especially Ralph. They hate that too. Gormless Wonder for one says, the proper way to wind up for a Mexican accent is to start by saying, Si, senor. Si, senor. We can get you across the border. Si, we are coyotes. It's very perilous, though. Many have died. Si. You have to like whisper it. I don't know why. Casting Coach Guy for 5 says, I went to a convention recently. There's nothing as refreshing as being around passionate, enthused people with similar interests. Well, that's nice. I'm glad that you had a good time. What an uplifting message. Gormless Wonder for 1 says, Border Guard, the guard with the border. It's true. He does have the border. Theoretically, he should have the border. Our border guards don't have any more borders left. They're there, sitting there in the towers, but they're not guarding anything. There's no border. It's sad, really. I talked to some border guards that has the border, and it says, I haven't seen the border in 40 days. Only immigrants. Sad. Tetrabacks for 50 says, the beer plus eggs is the perfect diet. Carb from beer and fat protein from eggs. Perfection. I don't think that's right. I think you're missing some shit in that. I'm not going to say which, but I'm going to say you're missing some shit. Have you ever listened to a Mexican person before? It doesn't seem like you have. Thankfully, not in many, many years. Rich Wet Pasta for 11 says, it was chicken butt. Thank you for your patience. Oh, I can finally put messages on the screen again. Bam, bam, bam. I have to fix that. Thank you for the payoff, Rich Wet Pasta. It's a great joke. Humble Guardsman for 1 says, Josh, what is your opinion of people phone posting on the forum? True to real politic, I hate it, but I realize that they're the majority of posters now, so you just gotta deal with it. No Hurt Mr. Metal for 2 says, keep it going, Mr. Moon. Considering I keep hearing your website from Kiwi Tapes, Saturated Content, Deadwing Dork, and Smoky Mick, you're finally getting through the trans wall. Muda opening those floodgates. It is true, I do owe a lot to the great nation of India. The Raja Mahan Mudahar has opened the gates himself. Judy Tester for 2 says, butter dog emojis. The emojis with the butter and the dog in them. Thank you. The Bugs for 1 says, those tranime fackets in the YouTube comments are still seething at you. I'm sure. They never give up. I insulted anime and their favorite Isolab. Oh no. What a bad person. Sneedo for 1 says, have you ever been to a Chinese buffet and have you ever seen people fight over the crab legs? Okay. So, you have activated my trap card. I have a unique Josh story for you. In Pensacola, on, I think it's 5 Mile Road. It's right near the Navy Federal Credit Union building. It's the same road that the Navy Federal is on. There is something called the King's Buffet. And this was my grandfather's favorite buffet when he was in Pensacola. So naturally, we went there quite a lot. He liked Chinese buffets. Can't blame him. They're good. One time, we went to the Chinese buffet. And my grandfather is like he's like super normie. He's a very reserved, normal person. But there was a time that we went, and there was a fat woman sitting, and she just looked sad. She was just sitting, like a fat person at a buffet. How could she just be sad? She was just sitting there, head in her hand, sad, just like she was stuck. And my grandfather and I get our food. We sit down, we start eating. And we're at like the comfy, fluffy seats on the side. And you know, like if you don't know, in a Chinese buffet, they lay these out where you have booths on either side, and then in the middle you have chairs and tables. And generally the fat people eat at the chairs and tables because they can't fit into the booth. We're at a booth because it's more comfortable. We're eating our food. And I forgot to mention, while I'm at the buffet, getting my, in case you're wondering, I like General Tso's, and I like black pepper chicken, and I like fried rice. While I'm getting my food, there is a super, super fat guy standing and waiting at like the sushi bar, like the hot food area. And I sit down, we start eating. This woman's just sitting there looking depressed. And a few minutes later, the super fat guy comes back to the table with a plate full of crab legs, stacked as high, like dangerously stacked, to the point where, and it hit me, and it hit me and my grandfather at the same time, that fat fuck was sitting there waiting for more crab legs to come out so he could take all of them, walk back to his table, eat all of them, and repeat that process a couple times. And the reason why that woman was looking depressed and sad was that she had finished eating like 15 fucking minutes ago, and he was still eating. He was like twice her size. They were definitely like married or something, and she was held captive there, waiting for her fat fuck husband to devour another seafloor of crabs. And it was genuinely one of the most disgusting fucking things I have ever seen. It was like so shocking, that realization of like, that fat fuck is really just sitting up there waiting for crab legs to come out fresh, and they haven't like removed him from premises. It's like, I can't believe that there's someone so audacious and their depraved gluttony that they would actually do that without any shame whatsoever. It was like just jaw dropping. It's like, how the fuck are you like this? What the fuck? So yes, I have seen fat people fight over crab legs at the buffet. And Romberger, for 2, says, you forgot the new tipster content in the Maddie thread, 30-second video. Also, there's an official RuneScape spinoff called Melvor Idol on Steam and mobile. It's great. You play 5 minutes a day botting the game. Wow, that does not sound very mentally stimulating at all. You're right. I did forget the tipster content. We're now back at the tipster content. This is the tipster segment, chat. The much anticipated tipster segment. Let's play this video, chat.
I would use this controller. The Leon, look at that ass, chat. That's a nice fucking ass right there, right? I would love to have that sweet ass in my hands while I play some RE2 Remake. Don't judge me. Don't fucking judge me, alright? I can sense you judging me, okay? Assholes. Oh my god, somebody's gonna clip that.
He wishes. He just says dumb shit to get attention now. But it's still funny. It's funny to make fun of him. Tipster is definitely going to tune out. When it happens, it'll be the saddest, fattest tranny ever. Soy Pranos, says the Lion King, for 1. Thank you. And Lucifer210, for 1, says, I thought American Mafia was Cosa Nostra, Naples was Camorra, and not Cosa Nostra. Bro, I don't know. What the fuck? Sorry. I'm not joking. I don't know anything about mafias, okay? All right. Awesome. Great. Thank you. I have a special English metal song picked out, and that is the stream. I will see you guys on Friday. Thank you for watching. Gummer video out this weekend. Take it easy. Bye-bye. See you next time. Don't die if you're English. If you're good English, I guess. If you're bad English, you can drop dead if I don't give a fuck. Bye-bye.